And Schwartz is like, okay, Katie. I like that Schwartz is like, doesn't want me to be happy again. Like, dude, she legitimately had your best friend's penis inside of her twice that trip before you kissed her. They had sex 2 times, probably 2 times in one of those. She like disappeared for 3 hours. They probably had sex twice in that, plus the night before. Maybe that's 1 or 2, like 4 times potentially. And then you're kissing her. Like, listen, this is a family show. I don't want to get, and if, kick the kid. By the way, some of you guys are showing me pictures of your kids listening to this. It's like, how dare you? But it's like kind of cool at the same time. What up, kids? You guys are pretty cool. You're a cool bunch. Please go to school and pass on the gospel of so bad it's good. Also, at this moment, if you could take a minute and rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for all the dirty hard work that we put into this. But I like that Schwartz is like, it was magical, and Katie doesn't want me to have that. But also what I was about to say, and this is grody, is that do you think Raquel brushes her teeth? The reason I ask that, and don't groan, I hear you groaning, but listen, I'm a journalist. I'm an investigative podcaster. This is what I do. Is there a world in which not only did they have penetrative sex, but they potentially had oral sex? And there was cheating, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. But then, walk with you, you see where I'm going. She then used that same mouth to do this father-daughter kiss with Schwartz. And Schwartz is like, oh, it's like Back to the Future when he's like kissing Leah Thompson, who eventually is Michael J. Fox's mom. Spoiler alert. I know the movie's 30 years old, but just in case, it's Michael J. Fox kisses his mom in the movie. It's still a really heartwarming, charming movie, regardless of that. When you say it out loud, it sounds gross. But it's like that moment where Schwartz is like, where you remind me of Sandoval. He's like, why did you? Sorry. This is lowbrow. I'm sorry. I never pretended to be highbrow. But I'm just saying, do you think there were, no, I'm not going to, you know where I'm going. But anyways, like what I'm saying is that there could have been a Sandoval essence around her whole, it's like, you smell like my best friend, dude. You smell like Sandoval when he's in the, when he's on the Tom mobile and I'm in the little sidecar. Lisa to Raquel's like, how could you be in the situation with Schwartz after you slept with Sandoval? I love Lisa's waking up. I'm like, what? And Raquel's like, because I put a cap on this thing with Sandoval, and Schwartz was someone that I was curious to make out with since the beginning. Like, things that I'm curious about are like, will I have any kind of retirement? Will I, there are like curious things, but it's never like, I wonder what it's like to make out with Tom Schwartz. We have additional footage from Peacock, and Andy's like, Raquel, I've asked you this before, but I was surprised at hearing Katie's mom, Terry, Queen Terry Maloney, folks, describe the pain that both of them had surrounding the divorce. We flash back to that scene earlier in the season from Vegas where Terry's like, whether Katie shows it or not, I talk to her all the time. I hear her crying. She hurts inside. They're still married. They're barely even moved out of their home. They're selling their home. That's an emotional thing in itself. I'm even having emotions about it. It was this beautiful moment because they flash over to Katie. You can tell it's like hit Katie's, she's getting teary about it. This was a very powerful moment for me. And just think about how honest this moment is. And also then just compare it to Ariana and Sandoval. It's like, this hurt so bad. And they were all on the same page. They were honest about ending this relationship. It wasn't because Schwartz had cheated with Raquel, and it was still painful. So imagine Ariana that really was shocked to hear that this had been going on for so long. That's a whole different layer. It's not better. It's, it's not a contest, but it's also, hurt has so many different varying degrees. And Andy goes, did it kind of make you reevaluate going after Schwartz? And Raquel's like, it did. I definitely closed the door on pursuing Schwartz. So and Ariana laughs and she's like, oh my God, Because remember, she was fucking Tom Sandoval at this time. And Andy goes, but then you made out with him. And Raquel's like, yeah, good catch. I did make out with him. And that was something that Ariana goes, close the door on Schwartz and open it on my fucking boyfriend, you fucking cunt. And Raquel to Schwartz is like, if I remember correctly, in Cancun, you were the one that kind of like instigated, anyway, insinuated that you wanted to like make out with me. And Schwartz is like, I was, yeah, and Katie's like, insinuated or not, you closed the door, so the door should have been closed already. And Schwartz is like, I was kind of the instigator, okay? Instigator was the right word, which, by the way, we also once again see that Schwartz was egging this on. Remember at the time when we didn't know that Sandoval was doing this, Schwartz was like, she's like coming for me, dude. When in a sense, Schwartz was egging this on. Schwartz was like, no, I don't know. It'd be cool to like touch a new tongue with my tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the attitude here. It is interesting to watch Raquel search for the word instigated, and then it's like instigated, insinuated, and we got there. We did get there. And James is like, I just think it's like very incesty and weird, this whole side of the room. And then he goes, okay, moving on. Lala, early in the season, you revealed that you and James hooked up while you were with Randall and James was with Raquel. We flash back to Girls' Night Happy Hour, and Lala's like, and James and I definitely hooked up. And Raquel was like, well, we were together. And I was like, you guys were like pretty new into your relationship, and I was pretty new into mine. And remember that happened this season as well, is that it was revealed that DJ James Kennedy, even if he was like, I was 25, it doesn't count. But yeah, he did cheat as well. Let's be honest about this. And Lala knew he was in a relationship. So to everybody's point, nobody is angels on that couch. And hopefully they have learned from their mistakes. But if something, if reality television has taught us anything, none of these people really do seem to learn. So I hope they really are taking into account what has happened this season, and hopefully they're all turning into magical, better people because of it. This is an additional footage from Peacock, and Andy's like, James, had Lala not brought this up on camera, I feel like maybe you would have taken this to your grave. Are there any other hookups that you want to admit now that you and Raquel are not together? Because there were other accusations. Then we can flash back to, by the way, this is crazy that it just made the Peacock version. I feel like this should have been on the Bravo version, but they're trying to tell a story for time. And we see flashback to 2016 with Raquel in a club, and Gigi brings James clothes to him that she borrowed when she slept over at his house. Also in 2016, we see Ellie show Lala a picture of DJ James Kennedy on her phone in bed. She's like, look, it's us in bed. And then in 2017, Jax is like, Logan is telling people that you guys are hooking up. Now, this is not Logan Cochran, Ariana's best friend. This is Logan N-O-H. That is also still Lala's really good friend, but he was also DJ James Kennedy's best pal for a while, and they were always super flirty. So remember this storyline? And James is like, wait, what? What? He said what? And James is like, I don't care who you sleep with, dude. And James is like, you think there's any truth to this, huh? In 2018, Raquel's like, are you about to say that he had sex with you too? And this girl Hope is like, yeah, like at Coachella when we were with you. So that was in-house. With Raquel there, DJ James Kennedy, even though he still to this day doesn't admit it, had sex with this girl at their Coachella house. And James laughs and is like, no. And Raquel's like, it's okay to admit it, James. It's fine. And James is like, I know it is, but no. And Andy goes, you have nothing to lose, of course. And James is like, I've said my piece on that. It's like, it's a no, sorry. I don't know what more you want from it, And we see over at Sheena's cam where the White Claws are just flowing. And Allie's like, do you know what that's about? Do you know? And Sheena's like, there were multiple girls, like in the early seasons of the show. And Allie's like, but not like recently. And she's like, no. And Allie's like, okay, well, I'm like, and she's like, no, a very, very long time ago. But this is what I'm talking about, is that this is one of those scenes. He didn't get pressed on it, but if you had Kristen Doty there, that shit would have gone off like a bomb. And it's not, it is one of those things, as much as we love DJ James Kennedy, and we do, and people do make mistakes, this is one of those things he still can't seem to admit. So just remember, this show had those pieces of information in it as well. And Andy goes, Raquel, James and Lala always had a very flirty relationship while you were together. I remember your trip to Big Bear, and Lala smiles. And we flash back to 2017 with Lala in the bathroom changing while James is in the shower, spying on her around the shower curtain. And Lala's like, I'm still naked in here. And James is like, come on. And Raquel's like, you better not be. And Andy goes, did you ever ask James if anything happened? And Raquel's like, I don't recall if I ever asked him like straight up, but like I always noticed the flirtation happening between the two of them. And obviously it made me feel uncomfortable because at the time I felt like Lala didn't have any respect for me whatsoever. And Lala goes, and I still don't. Man, Raquel just sets Lala up for such great little one-liners. Also, I will say this is so bizarre to me because we always saw Raquel and how she felt, rightfully so, about Lala and James. But it's like, I love this. I don't recall if I ever asked James about their relationship. Like, this is the part that confuses me about Raquel. Because to me, this is an obvious down the center of the line question that you would ask anybody that you were worried about their relationship of like, are you hooking up with her? Are you boning her? You all dipping the P into the V? You know what I'm saying? Like I would, and it shocks me that Raquel's like, I don't recall if I asked her. Like, what? I'm always shocked at how other people's relationships are because I'm like, well, this would be an obvious question. And Raquel's like, that's totally fine, Lala. You can say that. But up until this point, I haven't done anything wrong. So your judgment on who I am is completely. And Lala goes, seems like it's pretty spot on. And Raquel's like, a lot of people make mistakes. So you can say about anybody in this room, I think Lala resented me because, and we cut to Sheena Cam and Sheena's like, says, I can't. And Raquel's like, because, sorry, my voice is shaking now, so I'm going to breathe. And she inhales deeply. And she's like, okay, I'm back. What's going on, Andy? It's me, Raquel. Glad I took that breath. And now I'm really on my voice. No, I do like that moment because of what I was telling you. And I would say earlier, I said earlier in the season, pre-Scandal, you know, it's like she has done a lot of work on her voice because we even remember last season her storyline was like, I can't give a fucking toast. How pathetic is that? Girl, I would take you not being able to give a toast any day before you fucking somebody in a 9-year relationship and completely just like blowing that shit up. Like the toast is like, yeah, that's amazing compared to this, but this was always her thing. So I know she did a lot of work on her voice because she realizes when she is shaky voice Raquel. Raquel goes, Lala resented me because she loved the attention that James gave her. And Lala whispers, she's truly insane. And Raquel's like, and since I stepped into the picture, the attention wasn't on her anymore. And Lala goes, my love, I think you need to get mentally evaluated. You're truly insane. Ariana nods her head yes. And Raquel smiles and says, I am getting mentally evaluated. Don't worry. Because at this point, she knew she was going to do this. This was always the plan for her to check herself into a facility. And Lala goes, great. Thank God. And Andy goes, Lala, why was Raquel making out with Schwartz such a unforgivable action in your eyes? And but you expected Raquel to get over you and James hooking up at the beginning of your relationship. And James is like, but why do we keep bringing up 5 seasons ago, Andy, when we have so much to talk about this season? Like James does not like to look backwards. Andy, I want to talk about Imagine Festival 2024, not Imagine Festival 2023, as in the past, Andy, please. I've done all this work on myself. I got Ali, just a beautiful, fine chappie with a very smooth equine neck. My life is insanely amazing, and you keep trying to bring up 5 years ago, Andrew. Please, poo-poo head. My God. And he goes, because he cheated on her and it's relevant. And James like, we've got so much to talk about now. After this last one, can we drop it? And Andy goes, Lala, answer. And James like, or do you want to keep talking about me about 4 years ago? Because I'm that entertaining, right? And Lisa's like, no, not really. So be quiet. And James like, but I am though, Lisa. I am that entertaining. And Lisa's like, zip it, guys night. And Andy goes, okay. And Lala goes, the reason I was expecting her to get over it was because when I told her, literally, you were there, Katie, at girls' night, she was like totally over it until it served her narrative, which was, oh, I made a stupid comment in Vegas, so I got to turn this around and put it back on Lala. And we flash back to that dinner in Vegas where Raquel's like, you slept with James while we were together. And Lala's like, you got to get over it, baby. You got to get over it. And Raquel's like, I shouldn't trust you around my man. And Lala goes, but why? And Raquel's like, you're the one that slept with my man. I'm not going to say she doesn't have a point. Life is unfair. I mean, this was, and I remember this was right around the time Scandal happened. And if you go back and listen to those episodes, this is what I talk about. If Scandal hadn't dropped, Lala, it would have been looked very differently. It was very, presented editing wise on the show did not look good. There was this kind of like, yeah, man, that was shitty. But also Lala has never respected Raquel, nor does she deserve Lala's respect. Andy to Raquel's like, did you weaponize it after you were actually over it? And Raquel's like, no, this is Lala at her finest. And Lala goes, I'm always at my finest, baby. And Raquel's like, no. And Lala's, I'm always at my finest, baby. And Ariana's like, the liar's going to lie. And Andy goes, okay, let's switch gears, shall we? I like it's like moving on or switching gears or pivoting. I love Andy's like words to move to the next segment. And he goes, at the beach day, James Schwartz made a joke about Rachella. Schwartz hangs his head and laughs. Oh no, man. You got angry and threw a drink in his face. Why were you so triggered by that? And they flash back to James doing just that of like, ha ha, it's fucking hysterical. Ha ha, Rachella, fuck you. Guys night. And James like, well, it pissed me off because I've been working my whole life to play Imagine Festival, okay? I get to open for the biggest DJ I've been looking up to my whole fucking life. Cascade. It's like that to me is so massive and huge. Don't compare it to that fucking shit show, Rachella. And Andy goes, but isn't that the joke? And Sam's like, yeah, dude, that's the joke. And James like, right, disrespect. I dare you to make fun of my DJ career yet again. Because if you do, and Sam's like, it wasn't, dude. It was like, and James like, shut up. And Sandra was like, him comparing you DJing at my house. And James like, shut up. No, boo. Stick your face in glue. And Sandra was like, him comparing you DJing at my house to Imagine Fest, dude. And James puts his fingers in his ears like, la, 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 la. It's ridiculous. And Sandra was like, Jesus, dude, you got to grow the fuck up, dude. And James like, he goes, if I want to hear from Schwartz, I want to know what you have to say about it. And Andy goes, he's already apologized 85,000 times. James like, fine, then apology accepted then. And Andy goes, you should apologize to him for throwing a drink in his face. And James like, all right, Schwartz, I'm not sorry about that. And Schwartz laughs. He's like, I wasn't upset about the drink in the face, bro. It was like a little over the top, but I was upset when you started tearing apart my life afterwards. And we cut to that flashback, which is like, I forgot about this, where James like, take a look at your own fucking life. And by the way, Satchel Paige was there with Katie, and I didn't realize like Katie's having to hear of this of like Raquel's like, what's wrong with Schwartz's life? And James like, because he can't open his fucking shithole bar at the corner of Silver Lake and Poop Hole Village. DJ James Kennedy loves the word poop. I just put it together how many times he said it this season. He is fascinated with the word poop. What was your proposal again, Schwartz? Oh, yeah, you did it at fucking Rockin' Riley's, a fucking bar on Sunset, you fucking nerd. And James like, okay, I don't regret the drink. Sorry about the rant after. And Andy's like, all right, well, this feels like a good place to take a break. We have a lot more to cover. We'll be right back. And he's like, James, if you don't shut up, we'll be here for 2 days. And Sandra was like, yeah, dude, for real. And James like, oh, yeah, for real. Shut up. And Andy's like, okay. And Lala James is like, stop. And Sam's like, tell him to be quiet so we can move on, dude. And Lisa's like, when you got a point, make it, but please. And James is like, I'm so sorry, Lisa. I love you. Andy, I'm so sorry as well. I love when DJ James Kennedy gets sorry and sexy. Like, I'm a bad boy. I'm so sorry. My mouth just makes little promises that it can't cow. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Andrew. Please don't put me over your lap, please. I need a spanking. And don't spank me so hard that it makes the poop fly out of my butt, Andrew, please. I'm a bad boy, but I'm amazing. Guys night! Additional footage from Peacock. We have Sheena Cam, and we're in the trailer. And now he's like, I was on a flight last week and I saw on Instagram that you are the girl in the Jonas Brothers video with the pizza. And I like literally tried to scream. Like I tried not to scream out loud. I was like, shut the fuck up. And she was like, no, girl, like girls your age. I know. Like, it's like, oh my God, you're the pizza girl. And they're having this moment because Sheena was in some Jonas Brothers video with pizza. And Allie, I guess, watched that as a kid. And it's fun to watch, it's like children, let them lead the way. You know what I'm saying? Like Allie was like, I was like, James, we are watching this again. And she was like, oh my God, girl. Sheena is a celebrity. My God, I love Sheena. And Andy goes, we're back with the Vanderpump Rules reunion. During the season, there was a rumor about Sandoval and Ariana being in an open relationship, which all started when Allie spotted Tom and Raquel dancing together at the Abbey one night. And James jumps up and mimics Sandoval dancing. He's like, do, 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 do. It's like James like, Tom was doing his move. His fucking, his motherfucking was doing his stupid fucking moves. He's moving around like a worm, like 360. I've seen Sandoval do this move. But of course, I was like, dude, Tom's got moves, man. Because I'm like, I am a robot. That is my move. And I can do the Roger Rabbit, a little bit of the Running Man. I can't do actually with my knee. I can't do the Roger Rabbit anymore. In fact, I'm just like, I can do the white boy move with like, just like kind of hand motions where no, my hands are fists and I just go like this. If you're watching YouTube, I'm just like, it's so bad, you guys. Thank God. Like me at the Abbey, it wouldn't be like Ryan was at the Abbey with Raquel. It'd be like Ryan was the Abbey and he was literally dancing like he was like in like cement. And it was very awkward to see, sweating a bunch, very sad. I think he was crying. It could have been tears, but it also looked like sweat. It was just very sad to watch. So he's like, yeah, Tom was doing his motherfucking, doing his stupid moves. And everybody's laughing, including Ariana. They cut to the Sheena cam and Allie's like, after See You Next Tuesday, we walked in and they were like dancing. And I was like, oh, cool. Everyone's here. Yay. And I was like, where are they? And it was like 1 a.m. And Sheena's like, they made it sound like they went with you guys to the Abbey. And they go, we went with everyone. And Allie's like, no, that's definitely not true. And Andy goes, Katie, you said you found it strange, but did you think at the time that anything was going on with them? And Katie goes, at that point, no. But the more I saw them interacting with each other, I was like, yeah, this feels weird. And Raquel has zero expression when the camera goes to her. These are the moments that scare you. Should we get into it? Can I give you a theory? And I want everybody to be, I know this, I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about this, and I'm trying to talk about this in the most respectful terms that I possibly can. And I know people get offended about this, but I do think there is a processing issue, and I've gotten so many people email me about that actually. I want to talk about potentially being on the spectrum. And I know you're like, oh, stay away from this, stay away from this. But I feel like we would be remiss not to talk about this. And I want to also say that I have so many listeners that do have children that are autistic or on the spectrum themselves. I think we have a misconception of what that means. And there are plenty of people that are on the spectrum that in your everyday lives that are amazing people that do know the difference between right and wrong and things like that. So I don't want to give that impression as that being on the spectrum makes you make bad decisions. But I do want to say that certain elements of her behavior, as I've studied up on this, and like I said, this is nowhere near an official diagnosis. I'm just sharing with you comments that I have gotten before. And so let me share a couple of these comments with you that I thought were interesting. And I just want to share this with you. I don't know this to be true. Here is somebody that wrote to me today and said, hey, Ryan, I wanted to share some thoughts. I'm an autism specialist counselor who works primarily with children. I know you have talked about the whole Rachel being autistic thing, and I wanted to offer a different perspective. It would not surprise me if Rachel shares that she has been diagnosed with autism when she speaks. Not diagnosing, just sharing perspective. Autism in girls is very different from how most people see and understand autism. They used to think it was just for boys, but that is completely wrong. Girls tend to mask way more, which means put on a face and persona that others will deem acceptable and appropriate, because misogyny is real. They mirror others' personality, mannerisms, and very much tend to be people pleasers. This tends to cause people to have meltdowns or experience other maladaptive behaviors in the privacy of their own space. I also wonder if the galaxy light thing is due to sensory issues with lights or overhead lights. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. I also thought it was, I mean, not interesting, but I was waiting for potentially to be brought up at the reunion about the comment that Raquel, when the lady, I believe it was the wife of Rob Dyrdek, who hosts Ridiculousness, that they air 24 hours a day on MTV. I believe she is came out with her uh, autism diagnosis or on the spectrum in a very brave Instagram post. And I think Raquel had liked the post and said something to the effect of, something like, I completely feel this. And at that time, I believe this was pre-reunion, everybody was like, oh my God, Lala out of nowhere Raquel out of nowhere has not been on her phone, not been engaging in social media, and all of a sudden she leaves this comment. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, she's trying to set this up as a reason why she did this. And then we had a really big, a lot of people were talking about this, including me, and I got so many different opinions. And this is a really dangerous topic to touch, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. And I'm not saying this would excuse anything, but there is something going on. And yeah, you could say maybe she's just on a bunch of Xanax, but she's maybe been on a bunch of Xanax all season because she's had very little to no reaction at times that most of us would have complete reactions. And it made us think like, wow, this is even more bizarre on top of the behavior that she actually has exhibited. And I do think there is something off here. But also, I want to also make the point of that doesn't excuse behavior. People that are diagnosed with this, they're amazing people. This doesn't make you like, it's like she still did something wrong. She still does know this, but I'm talking about just in terms of processing things, in terms of how you relate to other people, how long it takes you to learn something potentially. This was another comment that I had read today that kind of moved me. This person said, I don't want to be an internet doctor, but the more I process, the more I believe Rachel is on the spectrum, as am I. And some of the signs are her seemingly lack of emotion in situations where there should be. The Bambi wide-eyed 1,000-yard stare, the head bobble when she talks, easy manipulated due to lack of understanding intentions, especially when it's being hidden, not fitting in with people in your age group, having childlike interests or opposite extreme maturity beyond your years, not understanding social cues or impact regardless of if they are explained to you. These are some of the more recognizable things that I can see in her. I could be very wrong, but I would not doubt that she is neurodivergent in some way. That doesn't excuse her actions, but it makes sense of a lot of things to me that we would otherwise be so baffled by. Like, how could you do that? But like, really, she doesn't seem calculated. I've always said that, right? She doesn't seem calculated, but then at times you're like, this is very calculated behavior. Tom is the predator in this situation, and she has a triple allure for Narc Tom. She is attractive, she is easy to manipulate, and she has a unique brain that will float through space and do weird shit with no question. And I've thought about that comment so much today, but I wanted to bring that up. It's a tough thing to talk about, and I'm not trying to make excuses for her, nor am I saying if you have any of this diagnosis that it makes you less than in any way. But we do have to admit when things like, maybe make us a little different, and, some people might make fun of those things, but there might be a reason why people behave the way they do. In fact, I look for those things. I'm always trying to figure out how something can be explained because we want things to be explained. We need things to be explained. It's sometimes really difficult to not be able to figure out a situation. And I think Raquel has always been that question mark. And when I started off this 2 hours ago, I said this was wildly unsatisfying because it's still a question mark. We still don't have any answers. And part of me wonders if even Raquel has those answers. She's still potentially processing what she did and what she is a part of. She did make a horrible, wrong decision. That is not going to go away. So it'll be interesting as time goes on what we see from her. And to Raquel's credit, and I'm not trying to champion Raquel at all, 100% Team Ariana, but she did the smartest thing in the world in that she disappeared, that she did potentially go away to a mental health facility, and she is still there. Smart. Because Tom's out there rocking the suburbs like a doofus, Another kind of just thing designed completely to stroke his own ego instead of something that this dude needs actual help. I don't care if you're profiting off somebody's misery. I don't care, but like this dude this dude shouldn't be out there on the road. This dude should be like in one place, actually taking a really strong, hard look at who he is. Because he just can't accept that he did something this awful. And he also wants to be forgiven because of all of these great things that he's done in the past. He doesn't seem to get it. He doesn't get it through this. He doesn't seem to get it after this. And I think truly his anger for Ariana grows every day, even though he's like, dude, I support you from afar, dude. So this is additional footage from, by the way, thank you guys for letting me talk about things like that, because I want to try to give a fuller picture. I'm not saying that's 100% the case, but I want to leave room for what we're seeing, because what we're seeing, it's easy to write off as sociopathic. And I think there's something way more at play. Once again, does not excuse what she participated in, and she did participate in this behavior. It's a really weird, tough position to be in for us as an audience, to try to have empathy when somebody did something so horrible. Andy's like, Sandoval, what were you thinking when everyone was talking about the two of you together at the Abbey? And he's like, dude, I love being talked about, dude. The Abbey's amazing. Thank you, DJ James Kennedy, for talking about my amazing spin move. He was like, first, he starts yelling. He's like, first of all, there was nothing going on at the time. Let's check in with the judges. That's right. That's a lie. Second of all, we were not the only ones there, dude. There were so many gay people around us at the Abbey. You know, he's like, we were hanging out with James, his dad, Allie. Ariana throws her head back and clasps her hands to hold on for his lie. We cut to Sheena Cam, and Allie's like, no. And Sheena's like, they're acting like you guys all went together. I'm in the Jonas Brothers pizza video. And Allie's like, yeah, wait. And James like, no, Tom, we walked in, me and Allie and my dad, all at the same time. I have to see you next Tuesday. And Sandra's like, so like we're grinding in the middle of the dance floor. And James like, it was like, surprise, hey guys. And Raquel shakes her head no. And James like, what you mean no? And Raquel's like, we weren't. And Sandra's like, we were hanging out at the table, dude. We were hanging out that table. And James like, that was my table. And I invited you guys because I'm a fucking cool person. We now get lost in the weeds a little bit of like a pissing contest about tables. And Sandra was like, whoa, cool guys got a table. But these guys do get tables like that and think they're all cool. Like, it is funny that we're arguing about that. And James like, that was my table, dude. And Sandra was like, I said we went over to say hi, dude. There were other people there. And James like, that was my table. Other people. It was my dad and Ali. And Sandoval's like, we were by ourselves dancing, dude. And Ariana's like, you fucked. And Sandoval's Sandoval's like, that's a fucking Abbey, dude. Are you kidding me? And Andy goes, James, do you think it's possible that Sandoval started this open relationship rumor about himself so people wouldn't suspect that he was cheating? And Sandoval mutters, he's like, oh my fucking God. Ugh. I like Sandoval, the audacity of people thinking that I'm a liar when I just cheat and lie. Where are people getting this shit? And Ariana goes, I think so, based on what Raquel told someone after Coachella. And Annie goes, which was? And Raquel's like, no, the Sheena Cam's like, Sheena goes, bullshit. She's going to fucking lie now. And Raquel shakes her head no. And Ariana's like, which was that she told this person after Coachella that Tom made a comment to her about us being in an open relationship. And Raquel's response was, well, I told him I would rather hook up with Ariana than him. And Sandoval makes this incredulous expression. He's like, oh. And Raquel's like, no. And Sandoval's like, I never fucking said ever that we were in an open relationship. Like, what did he probably said they were like, we were in an open coupling. He's like, I never said relationship, dude. Technicality. Yes. Lala is smiling. And Sandoval's like, do you know how quick that shit would get back to you, dude? Which I'm like, I don't know how, dude, you've fully on like a full open cheating relationship. Multiple people knew and it didn't get back to Ariana. So yeah, I don't know, man. And Ariana's like, well, we already know she's a liar, but she lied about that then. And Andy's like, Katie? And Raquel's like, I didn't. I never said that. And Sandoval's like, I know you didn't, dude. He's smiling. It's like, these people are crazy, Raquel. Do you hear this? And Raquel's like, you never told me that. They're really like, Which, by the way, this would have been a nice question at the end with Jeremiah in that moment of like, did he ever say open relationship when she was like on the fence and actually opening up? I would love to know. Additional footage from Peacock. And Andy's like, Katie, you and Sandoval got into it that day with the rumor. And Sandoval leans over and whispers, what the fuck? To Raquel. Ariana catches him and says out loud, what the fuck? Go fuck yourself. Sandoval sneers at Ariana. And Ariana repeats, go fuck yourself. Andy, still talking, says, was yelling at you about never taking accountability for your actions. How do you view that conversation now, knowing that he was cheating on Ariana with Raquel? And Katie's like, he should remove that word from his vocabulary. He loves throwing around that I never take accountability when he's holding the biggest secret he's ever had. That's disgusting. And Sandoval's like, which I'm taking accountability for. And Katie's like, not very well, I'd say. And Ariana's like, nah. Not very well today. Yep. And Andy goes, okay, moving on. Sandoval, what were you thinking about when everyone was talking about seeing you and Raquel together? Were you worried that you had been caught? And Sandoval like, no, dude, because I wasn't doing anything, dude. Why did nobody see? I wasn't doing anything. This person says more than once. Llama says it was more than once, but I gotta say it was just one time. I've never had sex with Raquel more than one time. Sing it with me if you feel it in your bones. The mojo was back and I wanted to do it more than one time, but it was one time. Uno, dos, tres, but it's just uno, cause it was one time. One time sex with Raquel. One time sex with Raquel. I only had sex one time, and then I realized it was bad to do it 2 times, so I did it 1 time. Tom, that's not true. He did it multiple times. Shut up, Raquel. You don't know what you're talking about. 1 time sex is the way to go. 1 time sex to get my mojo. 1 time sex. They call me Tom Sandoval and the most 1 time sex. Yeah. Ariana goes, but you had fucked her, Tom. And Sandoval like, yes. And Ariana goes, so what are you? 1 time, he screams. And Ariana's like, you had an inappropriate relationship with her before you fucked her and after you fucked her. And Sandoval's like, I understand that, but it was 1 time. Really? And Ariana goes, your regret with her is doing something inappropriate because you had fucked her. And Sandra was like, I wasn't. Lisa's like, so it wasn't a friendship anymore if you had slept with her. I remember the first time I slept with Nicolene, and I was like, how do we decorate Vanderpump at Paris? And, you know, it's very upsetting. Did you know Tom Sandoval was in the jacuzzi with Raquel? I'm losing it, folks. By the way, thank God this show is over. I'm fully fucking losing it. 1 time. So Lisa's even like, dude, I don't even get what you're fucking doing. Sam's like, it wasn't, dude. Listen, I have a friend that I'm not going to name. And we have like, you know, during single times in our lives, and this is just sort of weird, because during single times in our lives, we have had like sex and we like still hang out. And it's no big deal. Like we move on and we're still really good friends. Yeah, dude. He has literally a bar with him. No, but like, let's break that. Like, so he's basically saying he has a friend, dude. When he's single, they're fuck buddies, dude. And that's all it is. It's like getting the poison out. But I was trying to say, so it's like 9 years with Ariana, right? But there was only a small window, and he kind of cheated on Ariana with Miami Girl, but he said that was at the beginning of the relationship. So he was with Dodie for a long time before that. So when was he fucking this friend off and on? Was it like pre-Dodie and that's it? Because he made it seem like it was even recent. Like, dude, they're like a friend, dude. I can't say the name, but like they're the friend, and we're just mature adults that realize you got to get the poison out, man. You got to just fucking splooge sometimes. And, you know, she get that. And, you know, it's amazing that, like, I don't understand. And I really don't understand that. And I was like, Andy, can we get a follow-up? Andy, follow-up. I got a question. Who's this friend? And are they on stage with us right now? Is the spirit in the room with us right now. And Katie's like, okay, but like you're single and have sex with them, not when you're like in a relationship. And like, and Sandra was like, I'm just saying, like, and Katie's like, he cannot grasp. And Ariana was like, he can't grasp it. And Sandra was like, we weren't fucking, dude. And Lisa's like, it was your secret together, and that changes everything. And Sandra was like, but we didn't treat. And Lisa's like, of course it did. And Sandra was like, okay, Lisa. And Lisa's like, you didn't go back to being friends. You went back to being people in a relationship that had a little clandestine pact and then were being unfaithful to her. And Lisa, do you think Sandoval's gonna know what clandestine means? Are you out of your mind? What this fucking clandestine, dude? Is that another bar, dude? Because I'm Schwartz and Sandy's 100%, dude. Fuck clandestine bar, dude. And Sandoval's like, Lisa, but you're not me though, dude. My mustache is so much more pronounced, dude. Come on. I love that this dude goes on Howie Mandel the next week and he even gets himself in worse trouble. Like, it truly is amazing. You're not me, Lisa. And Schwartz is like, may I jump in and do something stupid real quick? He's like, I think I know the origin story of the open relationship thing. And Arian's like, okay. Well, there was like a rumor going around in the Valley. By the way, I think I lived in the Valley at this time. I really didn't hear anything. I mean, I was, it was like El Pollo Loco and a Rite Aid, but, it just wasn't around those areas. I guess this rumor is like that you guys like hooked up with Billy Lee and had like a threesome, and Andy makes a face, Ariana makes a face, and they flash back to a scene at SUR with Sandoval and Billy Lee. And Sandoval's like, what's up? And she's like, hi, birthday boy. And Sandoval gives her a kiss. I'll see you tomorrow. And we see Ariana in the background behind the bar working. And Schwartz is like, I know it's bullshit, but it spread like wildfire. And Ariana's like, Tom and I have never had a threesome in our entire relationship. And Sandoval's like, see, dude, this is why I had to cheat on this dude. Like, are you kidding me? No pins and batteries, no freaky threesomes. She wasn't my fleshlight. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? It's like, is this even a relationship? And James is like, I remember that about Billy Lee. That did spread over to DJ James Kennedy's territory. And Schwartz is like, that's the origin story. And then from there, like, you guys like going down on each other, Lala and Ariana. And we flash back to 2018 guys night, where they're all, smoking cigars when Jax was there. And Santa's like, dude, we're in my car and Ariana climbs in the back, dude. And Lala just starts going to fucking town, dude. And he goes, okay, well, that brings us back to what has turned out to be the biggest story of the year, which is Tom and Raquel's month-long affair. Oh, good. We finally got there. Amazing, Andy. Raquel, where have you been staying since the news of the affair got out? And Raquel's like, I stayed with my sister for a few days, and then I drove out to Tucson and stayed with my family for the remainder of the time, and I flew back yesterday. And Andy goes, Sandoval, have you and Raquel been hanging out at all in the last 3 weeks? And he's like, yeah, we've hung out, dude. Ariana hates hearing this. And Andy's like, Raquel, were you considering skipping the reunion? And she's like, I was. And Andy goes, why? And we see the Sheena cam, and she's like, because she didn't want to take accountability. And she's dabbing her napkin, she's dabbing her mouth with a napkin. And Raquel lets out a deep breath, and she's like, I'm so ashamed and embarrassed that I'm even capable of keeping a secret from somebody who has been in my corner since the beginning. Ariana, I'm so sorry for betraying you. Ariana will not look at Raquel. Raquel continues, I cannot even fathom the pain that I caused you. I have been completely selfish, and you're right. Selfish is not the right word because it doesn't even begin to describe the state of mind I have been in. It was a mistake. The way it was handled, it was a complete mistake. The way we have betrayed the people closest to us was detrimental to all of our friendships. And I'm seeing like all of the consequences from my actions that I have never even considered because I was living in the moments. Have a bitchin' summer, KIT. Ariana's face, she's just not even kind of going on this journey with Raquel. And Andy goes, why did you do it? And Raquel's like, I did it because Tom and I had this connection. I felt seen and heard by him. And Ariana goes, not by me? Didn't feel seen or heard by me? And Raquel's like, No, actually. Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, and Ariana goes, I've been there since James was being mean to you when you guys were together. I was the only person who fucking saw or heard you then. Or because like, huh, that's true. That's true. Interesting. Okay. But okay, now that I'm thinking about that, that's wild. You're right. But I never confided in Ariana about personal things where I felt more compelled to confide in Tom about those things. I call bullshit on that, though. How many times did we even see on camera them talking about personal things? Her talking about her pageantry, her talking about being scared at her place in life, her talking about her own sexuality and not feeling loved. She even brought that up in regard to DJ James Kennedy of like, remember I told you I didn't have sex with DJ James Kennedy for 2 years? Like they did, she did. I don't buy that part. That's just not true. I think it's just that Tom was like, dude, tell me everything, dude. Tell me fucking everything. I want to know everything. You're a superstar, dude. You're fucking amazing, dude. Yeah, no, look at me. Don't look away. Don't look at me, dude. Look at me. Look at me. I want to tell you you're a big bright shining star, dude. Yes, yes, yes. Like I feel like he just fucking smothered her. And she was like, this is attention. It's a lot. And Ariana goes, that's inappropriate. Never ever should have crossed that line. It's disgusting. And Raquel's like, as a friend, my whole like, and she stops and she blows her lips. Like, and she has her hands up. Because I've been a people pleaser my whole life. And I dropped that mentality and I started only pleasing myself. Like on that whack off video at Schwartz's. JK, you guys. But she does say pleasing myself here. But once again, she talks about these concepts of like, you read it in a book of like, stop pleasing others, please yourself. They never feel natural when they come out of Raquel's mouth. It feels like something that she is read or told, like, like, okay. Like you can hear Tom like, dude, you got to stop pleasing others, dude, and please yourself. And also please this guy, Tom Sandoval. Ariana's face cannot believe what she's hearing. And she's like, it was just something I was curious. And Ariana goes, so my dog had just died. I cried in your fucking arms and you thought I should go fuck her boyfriend. You are lower than the fucking lowest of low people. You really are. You're a fucking psychopath. You are terrifying to me as a person. The fact you are capable of this shit, unfucking believable. You're a dementor. I know you like Harry Potter. You're a fucking dementor. I hope Charlotte fucking haunts you, which Katie likes. Katie's like, wait, dogs can hunt people? My God, that's good to know. Now, this is brutal, right? It's fucking brutal. She's already yelled at Tom on camera and off camera. She's finally doing this to Raquel. But a lot of people, are like, wow, it was fucking brutal. It was hard to watch. But it's like, what did you think was going to happen? And the producers wanted this moment as well. I mean, Ariana is human like any of us. And yeah, fuck this person that I fucking trusted. You fooled me. This dipshit fooled me. Two people that I actually trusted, that I stood up for, like Sheena, this person stood up for Raquel again and again and again. And just because Ariana doesn't have a dick, Raquel couldn't be as close to her as she potentially wanted to be. Now, obviously, we have this fucking psychopath, Tom Sandoval, who is literally like, no, come on, dude, you're amazing. Like, just that really lured Raquel in. And Raquel fell for it. Raquel needed that attention. Raquel did find her identity in these other men at times. She was a hot commodity. And I'm sure coming from her past and even with DJ James Kennedy, it's like, wait a sec, other guys will give me the time of day. And other guys will say I'm amazing and this and that and won't yell at me potentially and we'll do this, we'll do that. And everybody was saying how cool Sandoval was. And yeah, he can't sing on key, but people were going to his shows and she was seeing all of that. And she got lost in that sauce as well. Ariana continues, you're a soul-sucking individual. And Raquel's like, you called it completely right. And Ariana's like, and I will, after today, never see or speak to you again, and I will be better for it. Now, Ariana is saying that, but I will say that the show will say something else. They will see Raquel. And season 11, you're already at this point, I think, we're not going to get Raquel at the beginning of the season, but I do think there will be a very special episode of Vanderpump Rules where Raquel returns. And that will be of like, dude, who's that, dude? You know, and she comes out in like leather pants like Sandy from Grease. So she's like, tell me about it, stud. Puts out a cigarette. That would be crazy if she comes up like her face is tattooed. She's like, dude, what's up, man? Got out of counseling. I'm a whole different person. Holy shit, I was way off last season. Sandoval, you're a fucking prick. My God, you preyed on me. Wow, like Jesus, God. Keep this guy away from middle schools. Anywho, Lisa, you got some cheese balls? I'm hungry as a fucking shark, man. DJ James Kennedy, pussy. Imagine festivals for dorks. I'm a big Tool fan now. I like hardcore, heavy speed metal. Hey, Raquel, you doing pageants? Fuck pageants. Only pageant I'm fucking winning is the School of Hard Knocks pageant. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Raquel, are you dipping now? Yeah, whatever, freak. It's my skull. It's my skull container. Raquel, why do you have a leather chain attached to your wallet? Because that's how I keep my wallet safe, prick. You got any other jokes? Yeah, that tattoo does say, sir, 2023, just so I can remember all you fucking freaks. Anywho, off to my podcast. It's about tattoo and Harleys. That's right. All right. I do love it. Raquel finds herself. She's completely shaved her head. Yeah, man. Fucking call me cue ball now. I don't need hair, dude. Hair slows me down. I'm all about feeling the wind on my skull. That's right, fuckers. I'm off to the desert this weekend. I'm going to fucking trip on shrooms and try to find myself. I don't need no galaxy lights because the galaxy lights are in my head now, bitch. That's right. Lala, you want to step to me? I'll fucking smack you up. Do you smell what Raquel is cooking? That's right, fucker. I want you and me in the octagon, Lala. That's right, fucking. You ever come to me again? I'll fucking 2 hits, dude. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor, Lala. Oh, and they're like, Raquel, are you taking steroids? Fuck you. You ever say that again? You ever say that about me again? Lala, seriously. No, fuck you. You want to come at me, Lisa? Come at me, dude. I'll fucking need Ken so hard, you'll never have a kid again. You want to ever see Nicolene again, you better shut your mouth. And Andy's like, Andy's like, Raquel, please shut up, Andy Cohen. You shut up. Why don't you go kiss John Mayer's ass some more, freak? What if Lala does come out? What if Raquel does come out a completely different person at this health facility? She's jacked. She's like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear. It's just like tattoos all over her body. Like one's like Imagine Festival. It's like just a roadmap of like various Vanderpump rules. You know, there's one of Oliver and there's one of Nima. And there's one of just like, I'm going to pay back all of these people one by one. So Andy's like, why couldn't you stop? Why did you have to keep going? And Raquel's like, it was almost impossible to turn away from. It's like, ooh, to turn away from Sandoval's love. And Andy's like, you were in love. And Raquel pauses and she goes, yeah. And Ariana goes, you're ugly. You're hideous. You're rotten on the inside. Raquel is stone-faced. I know. I have been. And James is like just really reeling in Ariana's words, and she's smiling. He's like, his face is like, he has been waiting for these moments. And Ariana's like a moldy piece of fruit, rotten. And Andy goes, you are still in love. And Raquel nods her head barely. And Andy goes, Tom, you are in love? And Tom's like, yeah, with myself, big time, dude. I'm fucking amazing, dude. When I whack off, that's lovemaking. You know what I'm saying? No. He's like, Tom, you are in love? And Ariana's like, sorry, I'm going to laugh. This is delusional. This is hilarious and delusional. Because imagine being this person. Imagine this being your life for 9 years. And then you're on stage facing these people for the first time together and hearing them potentially say, not, out loud. I mean, they're really saying it in a very quiet way, but saying that they're potentially in love with each other. You feel like, oh my God, make me a bird. I want to fly far, far away. I can't believe this is real life. And Lala goes, it's a very simple question, Tom. Are you in love or are you not? And Sandoval looks over at Ariana and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes. Yes. But when he says yes, he kind of shakes his head no. Did you guys notice that? And somebody wrote this comment, which I found interesting. Let me see if I screenshotted this. Somebody put this on a tweet. This build the, oh, never mind. I'm not going to, but this person says, 100% lie. Body ghost language expert says this is a classic lie. Mouth says one thing, body language says opposite. Means total deception. Eyes looking down and away, fluttering is another way to tell. People have hard time controlling these movements when they lie. So Tom is filled with these little tells. So he's like, yes, yes. And Ariana sings, Grody, Grody. Honestly, that is the most pathetic thing I have ever heard. This is a joke, which, by the way, fucking yes, dude. If we take one thing out, thank you for bringing the word Grody. It is Grody to the max. Now, listen, Grody is not a word I have heard in a very long time, but Grody is gross. It's like, it's like, Grody. Let's start bringing it. It's like when Lindsay and Carl brought back finger blasting or finger banging in Summer House a couple of seasons ago. And I was like, finally, we're bringing finger banging back into the vernacular. Now we're doing it with Grody. And I am all for it. Of like, Grody. This is Grody. It's I love our Grody, which now I want a Grody song. Like, you're good as Grody, because you're good as Grody. And Lala goes, how amazing that he did this for you. Both of them did this for you, Ariana. And Ariana's like, true, thank you. And Lala's like, okay, there will be a day when you look at both of them and say, oh my God, I am so grateful. Not only did they get me out of what was a torture chamber, because I can't even imagine being with you, Sandoval, like put a bullet in my brain. And Ariana laughs. It was a very well-delivered line. And Sandoval was like, that's why you have so many friends, Lala. And Lala continues and like eliminated two horrendous fucking people out of your life at the same exact time. And Santa was like, such a giver in your friendships, Lala. And Ariana was like, let the two of them get exactly what they deserve. Nothing. You are nothing. Let that sink in. I know it's not hard for you to let other people's thoughts go into your brain because you never have a fucking original thought of your own. You are nothing. And Lala goes, you're not going to have this forever either. This is who he is. She's talking to Raquel right now. This will be a pattern. So don't think Lala's brutal, but she's also like, Raquel, wake up. This is a pattern for this dude. And it is. That is not a lie. Lala is completely 100% right. From Dodie to Miami Girl, to Ariana, to all the people he cheated on with Ariana, to Raquel, to the people that he's cheating on Raquel with now, if they are still together. It's all fucking fake and phony. And this Tom Sandoval, he loves the press. He loves being talked about, and he loves trying to manipulate media. Unfortunately, you cannot manipulate this kind of tsunami wave. So even when his PR people try to, it ridiculously backfires. And this dude's got to chill the fuck out. Like, honestly, if I were to talk to him, honestly, I would be like, this is not working. Even the people that are coming to your shows and saying that they love you, like, honestly, you need to chill out and stop. You need to check yourself in someplace like your friend Raquel and see why you do these things. And do not, like, you can't help but emotionally abuse people. I don't know. And if you're such a good friend, maybe just be good friends with people that have sex nothing to do with that relationship. Even the ones that like, dude, we just fuck, it's like grown-up stuff. So Ariana's like, yep. And Andy goes, okay. And Lala goes, you're the next to go, Raquel. Get ready. And Andy goes, you mean he'll cheat on her? Of course. This is who he is. And Jamie's like, I love DJ James Kinney's like, you know what she means. You know what she means. And Ariana's like, and you're dead to everybody now. Raquel gets up from her seat and walks away. And Andy's like, hold on, come back. And James is like, bye-bye, darling. Bye-bye. Don't come back. And Ariana's like, you should leave. Honestly, you should leave and never come back. No one wants you. Bye. At this point, you could tell rage had completely entered Ariana's being. And we don't get to see her like this a lot. We've not got to see her like a lot like this in the 10 seasons, but we see it now. And I'm sorry, but this is a fucking time to do that. For all the people saying, oh, too much, too hard. Yeah, she probably wasn't in control of her emotions at that point. This is the first time. This isn't like the third or fourth time they've been around each other. This is the first time. She's already been able to yell and scream at Sandoval. And yes, was it a lot? Yes. Did it make you feel weird for Raquel? Yes, all of those things. But at the same time, you have to keep reminding yourself. My friend Aaron wrote this, and I wanted to read this to you. I thought this was dead on in a lot of ways. Sorry, I'm trying to find this, but it really resonated to me. Aaron, who I think listens to this show, says, I don't know who the original source for this is, but this is why Ariana was justifying and saying every single word she did during the reunion. She's not a fucking bully. And this person writes this. I think people who have this opinion are just hung up on the cheating aspect. If this was just Tom getting caught cheating with Raquel, okay, cool. They're all shitheads. The reason what makes this even more vile is the blatant manipulation and deceit and the lack of remorse. Like flaunting it in front of everyone gave them a high. Raquel asking Ariana personal questions about her and Tom's sex life and relationship all while fucking him. Raquel later at the reunion claiming she never had that deep of a relationship with Ariana, but had enough comfort to ask her about her sex life. Tom trying to manipulate friends, fans, business partners, and everyone around Ariana to convince them that Ariana was mentally unstable and verbally abusive to him. Remember, he told people, including Howie Mandel the next week after this reunion, that she would try to take her own life and threaten that. And that is why he also couldn't break up with her. Ariana went on record saying this is patently 100% not true, and it is incredibly harmful to people with mental health issues to actually throw this on to somebody else. You can have mental health issues and also not be threatening to kill yourself. I have mental health issues. I don't threaten that. It's a really fucking disgusting thing to do on top of all the other disgusting things this man has done. It's not just about the actual hooking up and inappropriate relationship, but more so about how deceitful and disgusting they were about the whole thing. That's why they don't deserve sympathy at all, because they had no sympathy for Ariana while fucking her in her house while she was grieving her Charlotte, her dog, and her grandma. Would you guys be Mother Teresa about this? Would you guys be all chilling? Would you guys be like, well, Raquel's a lost soul? I don't know. I don't think you would be. I don't think I would be. I don't know. So Raquel left. She's like, I just need a water. Holy shit. And Lisa's like, listen, I think she did well, everybody. I don't think any of us realize how intimidated she is. And Ariana's like, she didn't seem nervous. We don't need her. But Ariana makes a point, not in the we don't need her, which essentially they don't. It's kind of slowing things down in terms of information coming out. But she didn't seem nervous. You're like, you don't realize how intimidated she was. Well, we couldn't tell. Like, you can't tell a damn thing. And that's why I think there is a reason for that. This is additional footage from Peacock, Raquel returning to the stage. And Andy's like, all right, Raquel, at Tom and Ariana's pool party, you called Lala a mistress bimbo. What a serious question. You called her a clown mistress bimbo. And we get a flashback to that of like, okay, like you're a mistress clown bimbo and I cannot stand it. You give mistress bimbo vibes. And Andy goes, that was after you had slept with Sandoval. And Ariana goes, projection. And Andy goes, how is that not hypocritical of you? And Sandra was like, isn't a Mithras something more like that point in time, something that's more ongoing? Like, I like, Andy, I hate to slow things down here, but the Webster's dictionary, Andrew, Merriam-Webster said that a Mithras is, he's like, and Ariana's like, wait, is this a joke, Tom? Are you fucking kidding me? And Lisa's like, it's semantics. And Sandra's like, I'm asking a serious question. It's not semantics. And Lisa's like, of course it is. Like, I disappoint Andy. Could you ask Tom if he knows what semantics is? And Ariana's like, oh my God, you just keep burying yourself. And Lisa's like, you are in a relationship. You are extensively married. You are common law husband and wife, and you're sleeping with her. She's her best friend, and she knows, and she's, complied to the whole situation. And Lala's like, you were constantly calling me a mistress and constantly calling me a hypocrite when you were both of those things. It's insane. And Andy goes, all right, Sandoval, what do you like about music? No, Sandoval, after the beach, you and Schwartz and Raquel went back to your house and did some drinking in the jacuzzi. The next morning, you lied about Raquel spending the night. And this is when we get those flashbacks to, Sandoval on the phone with Lisa. It's like, so did she spend the night at your house? And Sam's like, actually, dude, she dipped out, man. Like, it's crazy. And Lisa's like, hold on a second. She said she ends up spending the night at your house. And Schwartz is laughing on the phone, like, oh. And Sam's like, I mean, dude, look. And Lisa's like, no, did she or not? Yes or no? And Sam's like, yes, dude. And Andy goes, did you have sex with Raquel that night? And Sandra goes, absolutely not. Judges, can we get a ruling? That's a lie. And Andy's like, Schwartz, you co-signed the lie. And Schwartz is like, yeah, I did. That's great. Yeah, I did co-sign the lie. And in hindsight, that would, guys, can we fucking find these people every time they say hindsight? My God, hindsight this, hindsight 2020 that, hindsight. Mike, I'd rather hear Grody a billion more times than hear hindsight ever again. And Lisa's like, no, Schwartz, you were probably passed out on the couch. And Schwartz is like, no, it seems extra fucked up. And Katie's like, no, you had the dogs that night. You had to go back to your place. Katie, by the way, I think this is amazing because Katie's like, I love that Katie's like, that's not true. He had to go back and be with the dogs. And I just could we just maybe live in a world where Schwartz didn't go home? Schwartz isn't super responsible even with the dogs. Is there a world in which we could believe that Schwartz potentially didn't go home to those dogs? Oops, sorry, I couldn't get an Uber. I don't know. That's another thing that Katie was like, I know you had to go see the dogs. It's like, well, do we know that? Schwartz is like, I know I'm not an innocent bystander, okay? I'm just telling you, while we were in that hot tub, there was no hanky-panky weird shit going on. Which, by the way, I was like, does Schwartz mean Lisa's ducks? He's like, no, they weren't there, dude. I swear. Wink. Lisa's like, what transpired? That's what I want to know. We get additional footage from Peacock at this moment, and Andy's like, Ariana, looking back, I mean, it does seem like a giant red flag. And she's like, oh, absolutely. But when you're in love with someone and you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you go, okay, well, if I bring something up and they tell me an answer, I'm going to believe that answer because that's my person. And Raquel nods her head like, yeah. And Andy's like, Sandoval, did you ever hook up with Raquel in your home? And Sandoval's like, no. Judges, okay, that's a lie as well. And Ariana is like, she doesn't even believe it. And Katie's like, we're supposed to believe you. And James like, no. Lala rolls her eyes, and Andy goes, obviously everyone had a huge reactions to this and rallied around Ariana after the affair. Do you think that all their support was authentic, or were they there for the likes? This is great. Sandoval's like, I mean, I appreciate people being behind Ariana and giving her all that support, dude. I really, really do, okay? She deserved it. It was heartbreaking to have friends, I would say, that we're both just as close as, to not even text and go straight to social media and create funny memes. You guys, does Tom think I made funny memes? Oh my God. The compliment that it warmed my black heart last night to hear this. Who knows? I don't think he meant me, but you never know, dude. You never know. But yeah, and if he means people like me, yeah, I was pretty resolute in how I told you guys all along, yeah, I wasn't going to reach out to him, nor will I reach out to him. And I was firmly behind Ariana. This was a really fucking shitty thing to do, and he put everybody in a really shitty position. And yeah, that's a fall from grace. And I really didn't, I'm still processing even how I feel about it, which I know is so silly because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. But, I learned a lot about myself this season too, about I really do put these people on a pedestal, and that's fucking ridiculous. It really, truly is. Ariana goes, what did you think was going to happen exactly? And Sam was like, I thought maybe, and Ariana's like, you thought people were going to be your friend? What did you think? And Sam was like, no, dude, no. Just a text message would have been nice. Should we text him right now? Should I unblock him and text him right now and say, hey, dude, just wanted to send you a funny meme. And it's just a picture of a middle finger. No. Ariana goes, no one wants to text you or speak to you or see you. And James like, nobody likes you, dude. Nobody likes you. And Ariana's like, they're not your friend anymore. No one likes you. And Schwartz is like, okay, can we talk about the juxtaposition that we talked to? I like Schwartz, like the diametrical opposition of the candidacy of the originality of the, I'm going to say a bunch of bigger words of the hypocriticalism of it's so funny. Can we talk about the juxtaposition? Like possibly one of the worst moments in your life, Ariana. Like we talked about this, like one of the worst, most humiliating moments in your life. And Ariana's like, I'm not humiliated. Those two are. And Schwartz like, okay, wrong word. Anyway, at the same time, the entire fucking nation was like rallying behind you. And it's just like, it's interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition. You know, what does that feel like? And everybody just pauses. And James like, cool, Schwartz, cool. And Schwartz like, I don't know. Cool story, bro. Real, nice. And Katie's like, what? That's a weird thing to bring up. And Schwartz like, it's just, I don't know. And James like, pretty fucking great, Schwartz. Yeah. Ariana, you know, hey, this is so dumb. He's like trying to make this point of like, isn't it amazing though that people rally? It was so, and you can just tell it's like sit in that uncomfortableness, Schwartz. Like literally put your entire fist inside your mouth at this point. Like, God, my God. But Ariana like takes that in and begins to cry. She's like, well, to answer the question, it's what kept me going. My friends and my family and you guys and strangers, like people I've never met. Like it's honestly what kept me going. Andy hands her a tissue. Thank you. I had a week and a half where I like didn't eat and I lost like 8 pounds and I couldn't do anything. And someone stayed with me every night because I felt like I needed to be babysat. And honestly, I just can't think of two worse people. I can't. Schwartz really feels like a fucking idiot for bringing that up at that point. Sandoval hangs his head to his chest and he's like, oh shit, dude. Green light, dude. Green light. Raquel just stares at her with that emotionless blank look. And Ariana goes, I cannot think of two worse people. And James like, disgusting. And Ariana's like, and I know I don't have to be like a person in a relationship that's never made a mistake to know that like on absolutely no level whatsoever would I have ever deserved this fucking shit. And Raquel's like, you don't. And Sam's like, no, dude, you don't. He won't look at her. And Ariana goes, don't fucking say you don't deserve it. You're still fucking doing it. You're fucking disgusting fucks. You're gross. You're gross. This is gross. When is it going to click? That it's fucking gross. That it's an abomination. Abort it. It's so fucking awful. But if it wasn't for like everyone that was around me, I honestly like, yeah, it's what kept me going. And Katie's like, yeah, your life is getting better by the minute. And Ariana's like, yeah, and theirs is just going to go down the gutter because that's karma. And James like, yeah, they're not going to play Imagine Festival. No guys' night for them. And James like, yeah, because for the record, Raquel, when you fucking call Ali a replacement, it's not a replacement. You know, you better watch your mouth when it's clearly an upgrade, okay? And Raquel smiles like, okay. And James like, okay. And Ariana's like, yeah, you're a downgrade, babe. Which is like a line out of a bad 80s film. And Andy's like, okay, well, we have a whole lot more after the break. Stay tuned. We come back. Welcome back to the season 10 Vanderpump Rules reunion. Raquel and Sandoval, the news of your affair lit up the internet. And there were, by the way, it lit up the internet at that time. It even got more intense after the reunion filmed. I mean, this just never ended up to this day. Think about that. Think what we participated in. I used to tell you guys when we would do the podcast during the pandemic, and I said, you guys, no matter how miserable we all are in our rooms, when this ends, whatever that looks like, who knows if we're still in the pandemic or not, but when this ends, we'll be able to tell future kids, generations, all of this, that we were there. We survived a pandemic. And I feel the same way about Scandal. We will be able to tell our kids who will be deeply, deeply ashamed of us that we survived Scandal. I love that. Like, kids out there is like, dude, dad is like going off on surviving Scandal again. It's so sad. Like, should we put him into a home? I don't know. I'm just tired of him. It's like, oh, I remember he then went on Howie Mandel and I saw him shave his mustache for the love of God. I'll never forget where I was, literally in my bed. Ah. And Andy's like, there were a lot of rumors that came out relating to it, and I wanted to clear a few of them up. Sandoval, last Halloween, you actually dressed up as Raquel. And Ariana smiles, goes, yeah, I helped you do it. And they show side by side photos of Sandoval and Raquel dressed in a skirt and that Tom Tom sweatshirt, behaving exactly alike. It was a very cute video at the time. I thought it was very funny. I remember when that happened. I was told it was going to happen. Like, I remember all of this before it even got posted. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I remember thinking it was like, oh, that's kind of mean, because I thought it was like a little dig at Katie. But I was like, oh, I get it. And it was fun to see Tom in drag, but I didn't at any point think, I thought it was a little weird, but like, you just don't, you're like, oh, dressing up is fun. And Tom likes to dress up. Like, how many times I've seen pictures of Tom dressed up as a Jedi? Like, I always thought that was weirder, even though I really love Jedis and Star Wars. And he's like, you never felt like that was like brazen, or you were leading the witness? And Lisa's like, wait a minute. You went on Halloween as Raquel after they slept together? Where the fuck have you been, Lisa Vanderpump? My God, wake up. Like, wake up. We found out today that Lisa's new show, Vanderpump Villa, got picked up by Hulu. And I'm like, are we sure? Like, like, can Lisa handle another show? She can't even remember the show she's on. She's like, I'm like, Lisa, this was a plot line even on the show. This was talked about. You were at BravoCon. Like, I love this. Like, wait a minute. What? You're on the show? Wait, we're on a show right now, Andy. Oh, my God. You dressed up as Raquel after you fucked? Ken comes in like, yes, I even knew they wore the Tom Tom sweatshirt before they got in the jacuzzi. And Lala goes, it's so demented, it's sick. And Ariana's like, it's psychopathic. And Lisa's like, why would you do that? Why would you do any of it? But why would you do that? Sandoval can only just blow out air. He's like, and James like, he's a fucking creep because he's a creeper. Don't let this guy around a school, right? Creep us, Ariana goes, because he doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And Sandra's like, it was just a thing online, dude. And Katie's like, it was also a dick move to mock me because I called her a fangirl because she's wearing the Tom Tom thing, following him around at BravoCon like a puppy dog. So I was like, she's a fucking fangirl. I put that on social media and it caught fire. And they show that post that Katie made saying she's a fangirl, started as a fan of the show, and now as a fan of the Toms. And Ariana's like, we wore matching sweaters that night, and Tom got to have his two girlfriends in the front row, and they show a video of them with Sheena and Andy at the Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras concert. And Andy goes, okay, moving on. Raquel, we saw you buy those lightning bolt necklaces that matches Sandoval's. We flashed to that shopping spree with Charlie. Now, this was actually interesting. I met one of the people that works at this store. I think it was like Polka Dots and Moonbeams or something. And this very nice woman and her friends, they introduced me to her. We were talking with Kiki, Talk of Shame, and she said she's always liked Raquel. She still likes Raquel. She, understands, but she always said Raquel is a very nice person, that she actually has reached out to Raquel since she has been away. But she, she wasn't saying like, fuck Ariana or like that, but she was saying like, I've always liked Raquel. I've always, empathized or sympathized with her. So I wanted to present that as well, as that, this girl liked Raquel. They do get like a 50% discount at that store. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty good discount. So she didn't spend $780. Potentially she spent like $350, which is still a fucking lot for a tiny lightning necklace. But the person who made that, they sold out of them. They're still selling them at that store, by the way. So I thought that was interesting. By the way, Lisa's like, you did what? You bought a lightning necklace? Yes, Lisa, it was on the show. What? And he goes, does that necklace have the meaning that we all think it does? And she's like, yeah, it was significant to who he became in my life. And I know that's not what anyone wants to hear. Yeah, dude, he fucking became a lightning bolt that fucking like electrocuted your life. That literally split trees and atoms. And James is shaking his head like, no. And Lisa's like, I don't understand this because you knew he was on camera. So provocative. It's just like having that conversation with Ariana. And Raquel smiles. She's like, I know. And Lisa's like, it's like you were acting out some kind of weird charade. It's almost in your mind. You're in some pageant where you're acting a part, competing with these other women, which I thought was like kind of a brilliant observation by Lisa. Like she's competing with these other women, almost like in a pageant kind of thing, and she's trying to find these ways to really one up her special skills, trying to find these ways to win over these men. It was a very interesting comment. James, like, she's not going to win this pageant either, Lisa. She doesn't win those. And Ariana's like, she's a sociopath. And Raquel's like, I know, I was cringing so hard watching that. But once again, cringing so hard watching that, weren't you cringing in that moment? Like, that's the thing. Like, you lived these, you watched it, and then you felt something that, to me, also expresses like having a distance on your own life, seeing things from a distance, of like being able to feel something once she watches it. Like, remember when she was in the trailer last week and she's like, wow, I should have written Sheena an extra letter, I guess, because she was watching Sheena on a TV screen. Isn't that weird that she almost seems to process human emotions by watching it on TV rather than actually living in those moments? It's just something I noticed that I really find super interesting. And Ariana is like, dude, you should be cringing every fucking second of your life until the day you die. And at this point, Ariana is just angry. So everything she comes out of her mouth is angry. So Sheena Cam shows Sheena shaking her head and Allie just like staring at the TV. And Lisa's like, how did this feel when you looked her in the eyes? This person who has loved you and defended you. And Raquel's like, I feel like a piece of shit. But she says it completely straight face. And James like, you felt nothing. And Ariana's like, you felt nothing and you feel nothing. And Lisa's like, when you're talking to her and at that moment on camera, to me, that's the most mind-boggling, gobsmacking, astounding piece of film I've ever seen. Coming this fall, Siskel and Vanderpump at the movies. This film, was the most gobsmacking, astounding piece of film I've ever seen. 2 thumbs up for Spider-Man into the Spideyverse. Sandoval's like, yeah, dude, I mean, look, I think that like neither of us had really a time to like really process this. When he said this, it made me think of like Tom Sandoval going into season 11. So obviously Schwartz was on Schwartz was on Jackson Brittany's podcast, which we'll talk about in part 2 of this show. My God, this is going long. What kind of life have I created for myself, folks? My God. Is that Tom Sandoval is not, Schwartz is not talking to Sandoval right now. So when cameras pick up, like he's doing shows still with Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. And we'll talk about what his band actually charges if you want to book them for your wedding or any event. We'll talk about that in part 2 as well. But he's going to come in and it's going to be interesting to see him come into this season. Like, you're going to have that scene potentially be like, dude, Schwartz, man, I love you, man. I never meant that, dude. Please, you're going to have to see him try to win back his partners, Brett and Greg, over at Schwartz and Sandy's. You're going to see him be unapologetic to all of these people. I think, if anything, his anger has grown for these people. And I feel like he thinks he deserves credit for all of this. He's like, wow, look what I did for all of you dudes. Look what I did. Me, Tom Sandoval, dude. So, I mean, just think about that. He's going to come in potentially like a prick because he truly still does not feel what he did. And I think once he starts to feel that, actual real change will be able to happen. And I think we'll all potentially be able to move on. Or maybe he just stays like this the rest of his life. Who knows? And Ariana looks like she's smelling shit. She's like, what? He's like, we made a mistake, dude. We tried to rectify and pretend like it didn't happen. We didn't want to hurt anybody. So that's what we both, I think, it's what we tried to do. And Andy's like, Ariana, what happened with your eggs? It's such a weird thing. And we flash back to that Yeasty Boys food truck scene in season 10 where Santa's like, Ariana wants me to, like, fertilize her eggs. Like, it helps the eggs live longer and it's like better for them. And Ariana's like, they're just frozen. And he's like, they're not fertilized. And she's like, no, thank God. I don't want that DNA mixed with mine. And Lisa's like, save them. I'll buy them. Me and Nigga Lane. And he's like, Sandoval, have you slept with anyone else since you and Raquel started sleeping together? And Sandoval's like, no. And Ariana's like, what about that girl in Chicago? And Lala's like, what about that girl in the bar after you played on Thursday night? And Sandoval's like, you guys, dude, you guys. Like, where are you getting your information from, son? Like, what? Ariana's like, well, no, you know who he did sleep with after him and Raquel started sleeping together? Me. And Sandoval's like, yeah, like, she kept her t-shirt on. It was really hot. And Andy makes just the biggest cringe face. And everybody's like, oh, dude. And Lala's like, you're such a fucking dick, asshole. And James is like, what the fuck, dude? You're disgusting. And this is the moment where Schwartz leans over. He's like, oh, don't say that, dude. Don't say that. And Sam's like, sorry, dude. Sorry. And the Sheena cam in the trailer, Allie is covering her mouth in horror at that put down. And she's like, I want to throw this in the TV, but I won't, with her white claw. She's like, I want to throw this in the TV, but I don't want to get a restraining order from the TV. But what a narcissistic fuck. What a creepy, creepy, fucking rude, hateful fucking thing to say. This girl has talked about her body image issues on this fucking show. You even watched this season when she's talking to your current fucking flame, Raquel, about her body. And you still say, oh, real fucking hot. She had her shirt on. You go lower and lower in people's eyes every week. Now, do I wish everybody tore you apart more and more than they did Raquel in this episode? Hell yeah. And I don't want people to forget the dastardly things that he said in this episode. Now, on this positive note, I will say this, that I was contacted with Janet, who has been helping with the Something About Her merch yesterday. And they had made a shirt that's on the Something About Her website right now that you can buy that says, this is great. I love this shirt because it's like a heavy metal shirt. You got to go see the image. I put it on my Instagram, but I thought this was just, turning lemons into lemonade. But the shirt says, fuck me with this t-shirt. And it has like Ariana in a drawing, pulling apart a cheat, like a sandwich. And it's kind of like heavy metal and a little bit demonic. And I love it. But those the proceeds go directly to opening that store, Something About Her. The artist that did this was Carla Fury at White Shadow Art. And I think it's just pretty fucking cool. But they had sent this to me yesterday and they said, Katie's going to post once he says that line on the East Coast feed. And then will you put it in your stories afterwards? And I was like, fucking happy to, because what a disgusting thing to say. And this is, Tom, every time you say something disgusting, we're going to make money off of you. We're going to make money off of the gross, rude things that you say about women. Like, really, dude? Really? Like, your mom fucking happy with this? You cheated on her, and now you're still, like, making fun of that she wasn't sexy enough for you to turn you on? Yeah, I had sex with her, dude. But I'm like, dude, like I said, I wear 4 shirts when I have sex. Like, I add shirts. Like, are you kidding? It's like, it's the abominable snowman by the time I'm getting down. Like, are you fucking kidding me? One of the worst, this is somebody's cheated on. One of the worst things he said, and it really just take a minute. Like, take a minute and think about what he said. Like, this dude is so, it's like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho is just in the mirror, just like looking at his body while he has sex because he's so into himself. And that's how he's like put all the time into like trying to get ripped and shredded so he can take his little fucking shirt off like Marky Mark at his little TikTok concerts. And it's like, he says this about shit at this point. Like, what are we, this is what I don't get. Why do we support people like that say shit like this? Now, what's the other interesting part is like, what would, why would he say something like this? So if you want to look at it from a different angle, what if he said something like this because he told Raquel that he wasn't have sex with Ariana? He's like, no, dude. But he potentially was still having sex with Ariana. So he's saying in this moment, like, it wasn't even fucking hot because he's trying to impress Raquel. Like, he's like, I'm trying to win. I'm trying not to upset Raquel in this moment because I've told her that we weren't having sex. So this is new information potentially to Raquel. So what if I kind of slam Ariana to try to endear myself even more to Raquel? There's that thing to look at it too, of like, you're trying to see what, like, he can't win Ariana in this moment. So all he can do is potentially not piss off Raquel even further. So there's that thought, which I thought was a little bit interesting. Another angle on it still is fucking horrible and horrifying. It's just gross. And Ariana goes, he is disgusting. And James like, you're disgusting. And Lala's like, you're disgusting. And they're just fucking like just going asshole. But I mean, this is the point where I just wish they were throwing plastic cups. And Santa's like, I'm sorry. Like, and Lala goes, this is your future, Raquel. He's going to talk to you like this, just so you know. And Schwartz just still has his head down in his hands. Like he's in like a fire drill at school. The camera zooms in close. I just wish they were like a little piece of slobber, just like going down to the ground. And Anna's like, okay, moving on. Raquel, when this came out, people started referring to you as Rachel, which is your given name, right? And Raquel's like, uh-huh. And Anna's like, and you changed it to Raquel when you were how old? And Raquel's like, I was in first grade. There was 2 other Rachels in my class. And Ariana's like, and she wanted to feel special. And Raquel's like, I did. And Ariana's like, she's not. You're not. You're not. And Andy goes, your family still calls you Rachel, right? And Raquel's like, my family still calls me Rachel, and my friends call me Raquel. And Ariana's like, you don't have any more of those though, right? So Rachel it is. And Raquel's like, it doesn't add up that way. And Ariana's like, it does. Your family calls you Rachel. Your friends call you Raquel. You have no more friends, right? Gotcha. When someone says your name out of the preferred name that you would like, it's disrespectful. Lala would know. And Lala's like, no, I wouldn't know because Lala's a nickname, you moron. It's not a name that I changed. And Raquel's like, Raquel is a nickname. And Lala goes, if it was Raquel legally, you didn't go by Rocky, you changed your whole name. And Raquel's like, no, I didn't change my name legally. And Lala goes, oh my God, shut up. And Raquel's like, it's a nickname. And Andy goes, did your families know about the affair? And Santa was like, I told my mom, dude. And Andy goes, what was your mom's reaction? I should have been like, do I get my money back from Shorts and Sandy's? And Santa was like, she was extremely surprised. And then he goes, like, disappointed. She was just like, this is not good. Like, and I'm like, I know. Like, and he's like, and he goes, Tom, did you spend Christmas in St. Louis together? And Santa was like, no. Lie. And he goes, has your family met Raquel? And Santa was like, yes. Like when they've been out here, like at Schwartz and Sandy's thing, like, and Andy goes, and what do they think of her? And Santa was like, I mean, I'll know. And Ariana goes, that she's a whore. And James lets out a laugh. Oh, and Santa's like, yeah, they're like, she's a whore. And Ariana's like, well, they should think that because she is. And then Andy, and that's like, kind of sad. And then Andy's like, welcome back to we go to a break. And Andy goes, welcome back to the Vanderpump Rules reunion. I want to talk some more about Sandoval and Raquel's affair. How did this go from a one-night stand to a full relationship between the two of you? And Sandoval lets out another sigh. A lot of sighs. Like, guys, let's let us sigh right here. As we cross over into the 3-hour mark. The 3-hour mark. Oh my God. Sandra every week is like, don't go long. You're losing, It's like Sandra's always like, she won't hear this part. So she's like, always like, don't scare people. Don't scare people off these lengths. And it is what it is. We've got things to talk about. I got things to talk about. I'm not even like, this is a show, man. This is a fucking show. We're doing this. And he goes, welcome back. I want to talk, how did this go from one night stand to a full relationship between the two of you? And Sandoval's like, emotions just got the best of me. And Andy's like, when did it become a relationship, would you say? And Sandoval's like, maybe January? And Ariana's like, oh, January, which is a lie. A lie. He'd already taken her to St. Louis in December, guys. This is fucking bullshit. And Schwartz is like, yeah, that's when you came to me and told me, like, I mean, you told me you were in the LOV, the LOVE word. Schwartz, just say love, man. And Ariana's like, disgusting. And Andy's like, Raquel, when the dust settles, where do you think you and Tom will be from a year from now? And James is like, stupid. And Raquel's like, I don't know. It's too soon to say. And Andy's like, Tom, same question. He's like, yeah, I mean. And James goes, in a poop house. In a fucking house made of dog shit. Yeah. I love, he's like, he doesn't have his like really, he's like, I can't curse anymore. I've been yelled. So you're in a poop house. Yeah. You're a house of dog shit. Poop. Yeah. Is that getting any play here? Poop house. And then he goes, all right. And Jim's like, poopy, stinky poop house, poop, poop-a-doop, scoopity-poop, poopity-poop, stinkity-poop. And Santa was like, I would love to see that, actually. And James was like, yeah, you would. You're used to living in shit, aren't you? And James was like, poo-poo heads, both of you, poo-poo heads. And Lisa's like, James, stop it. I would love to see Lisa at some point, like, I'm going to take you over my knee, spank you. This is for Nicolene. This is for Ken. This is for jacuzzis. Oh, Lisa, please. Lisa, stop spanking my bottom. It's raw. I've got to play Imagine Festival. Please, Lisa, please. Andy goes, Tom? And Sam was like, I think we're both in a very, very vulnerable situation. And it's hard to know, like, the feelings we have, like, if they're real or not. And I think that it's best we take some time to reflect. And Lisa's like, well, that must be difficult for Raquel to hear what you're saying. It's hard for us to know if these feelings are real or not if you both already said that you're in love. And Raquel's like, he's referring to when this first happened. And Ariana goes, no, they planned this whole thing out ahead of time. And Raquel's like, I'm just filling you guys in if you're curious. I'm trying to figure out if this was something exciting or superficial, or there was something like deeper happening. And Lisa's like, well, if it's superficial, that came at great expense. And Lisa does make that point. Like, if you guys are just bumping uglies, just seeing how your body parts feel mushed up together, like, duh. But I will say, once again, you don't really see the heat, the passion, the love. They could be hiding it, or it genuinely couldn't exist. And Raquel's like, I understand. My credibility is shot. And Sam's like, yeah. And Ariana's like, I mean, among other things. And Lisa's like, well, what did you think? What was your position on all of this? Did you not understand the magnitude of the situation? And Schwartz is like, of course, dude. The most, like, combustible nuclear thing. Big words. Dime store word. And Lisa's like, what did you tell him, Schwartz? I told him exactly what he needed to do. I was like, dude, okay, I know it's going to be one of the hardest conversations you've ever had in your life. You need to go tell Ariana what's going on. Otherwise, it's going to come out and it's going to humiliate her in the worst possible way, dude. And Ariana's like, again, I am not humiliated. They are. And Schwartz is like, whatever. I'm just saying it's going to be fucking nuclear. And Ariana's like, I'm glad it was fucking nuclear. It's exactly what they deserved. And Anna's like, all right, we're going to leave it there. All right, we're going to leave it here. Raquel, before we let you go, can you tell me a favorite moment of this? Raquel, let's have a fun clip of it. Raquel, can you tell us about the fun times? We've talked about a lot of the bad stuff. Can you tell us some fun stuff? I like seeing the galaxy light on TV. He's like, before we let you go and bring Sheena back, do you think it's possible at all to mend fences with anyone that you hurt? And Raquel's like, right now, no. And Ariana goes, forever, no. And Katie's like, it's really not up to her. And Raquel's like, that's very true. It's not up to me. And Ariana goes, it's not right now, no. It's forever, no. And Raquel's like, I'm really, really sorry to the people that I've hurt through this process. It just feels like those are the written lines of, like, I would like to come over because my mom made me. I want to apologize for TPing your house. I'm very sorry. But listen, we got to give her credit for coming out there, for facing the music. I don't know. I part of me, like, it was so dissatisfying that I don't think we needed this. I thought we would have gotten more information without her there. It's going to be a disappointment every time because I don't think she knows who she is. So how could she possibly convey what she was feeling in these moments? Maybe years from now, she'll be able to let us know. I mean, in fact, that would be the interesting time to get her, is years from now. It was just very confusing, and it almost made me wish we had this in the second half instead of the third, because it really deflated a lot of things. I think not just her performance, but everybody, because it was raw anger that was coming at her, and we have dealt with this anger now for months and months. So it was really, really intense, and I don't want to discount that. And that was hard for them on stage, hard to watch. And we didn't really get anything that much out of it. So I hope they on stage felt some kind of cleansing power from it, but there was just nothing there. And I truly, if Tom isn't with her in the future, I don't know what her future would be on this show. Alex Baskin, the executive producer of the show, says, okay, we want to see what her journey looks like. And I'm like, really? I mean, how would her journey? I mean, I don't know. Let them deal with that, right? Let them deal with that. And also somebody asked, well, why doesn't she get to stay out there? Why does Sheena have to come back? Well, because Raquel did Sheena dirty and did the restraining order. So yeah, Sheena does deserve to be back out there for the very end. Sheena should have been out there for the whole thing. So yeah, that's why they're switching. It's not, Sheena does deserve to be out there at the end, period. So we're at the Sheena cam, and Brock's like, you should just name the people you hurt, Raquel. Ah. And Sheena's like, where's my apology? And Brock's like, exactly. Where's my wife's apology? And Raquel's like, it's been an embarrassment all around, and I hate that I proved Lala right. And Lala goes, I love it. I'm living for it. A person that I love dearly is out and away from a very toxic human. People see you for who you are finally. It's amazing. And Raquel's like, I know, I agree. I'm glad she's out too. And Santa's like, you don't love Ariana dearly. And Lala's like, I do love Ariana dearly. Enough that I ate her cookie in the back of your car and I'd do it again. And Santa's like, you're a phony, dude. Bandwagon rider. By the way, Tom is fully sweating like I am right now. And by the way, I'm going to pour a little water. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is the point where you see Tom. I'm just fully pouring water on myself right now. You just see him just exploding with water all of a sudden. He's just fully sweating everywhere. Let me see how I look in the camera. He's just soaked on his face. He's just dripping at this moment if you look at him. And Ariana's like, Tom, you are the phony. And Raquel's like, I'm treating this as a learning process. I want to be a better friend to the people that are in my life. And Ariana goes, all two of them? And Raquel's like, and I now realize how much my actions affect other people. And that's what I did with my summer. No. And he goes, all right, well, we'll leave it there. And we're going to come right back with final thoughts from the group. Thanks, Raquel. Do you think Raquel and Andy took a picture that day at all? Was Raquel like, Andy, can I get one for the scrapbook? And Ariana's like, skedaddle now. And Lala goes, do we get a real break now, Andy? And Andy's like, yeah, can we take 5? And Katie's like, oh, my back. And Ariana's yelling after Sandoval, go give her a little kiss. She loves those little rat kisses. And Sandoval walks in the back. To me, this is the creepiest scene of the entire episode. Raquel's like, hey, come here. They're in this back room. And Sandoval's like, dude, I thought you did really good, dude. Way better than me. I love they're in acting school, judging each other's performances. And Raquel blows raspberries and hugs him. And Raquel's like, you have stuff on your face. And she's wiping away all these sweat. And she's like, a lot. That was brutal. By the way, she's wiping up all this sweat off Sandoval and she has zero sweat. Just nothing. Her pulse did not raise at all. And Sandoval's like, dude, you handled it a lot better than I did. And Raquel's like, it's hard to admit to everything when everything's laid out in front of you, everything that we've done and how we hurt so many people. And it's really hard. And this is, by the way, kind of you see her starting to process these things. I don't know if it's fake or not, but it does seem like she's and seeing the person that I've become, this isn't who I want to be. And I don't want to be a person that hurts other people. It's very childlike. And she is starting to tear up a little bit. And Sam was like, I know, that really sucks. She says this whole thing and he's like, yeah, dude, it fucking sucks, man. He leans against the wall like rebel without a cause. He's like, it's just really hard for all these people to just think we're the most evilest. He literally says evilest people ever. And we're compulsive liars. And it's how do we not lie about this? It makes no sense. And you start to realize none of these people are brain busters. You're just holy shit. You're if these guys get together, how are they going to even figure out tips to leave on restaurant? Who's going to figure out the math in this relationship? They can barely figure out how to put sentences together. And Raquel's like, I know, hindsight. Once again, hindsight. I should have done a lot of things differently, but and Sam's like, I can just fucking take it from Katie, but just Lala and James and you guys. And Raquel's laughing. She's like, his comment about Allie being an upgrade got me. She is at this point. And both Sandoval looks over and he's like, oh, dude, yeah. And they both weirdly laugh at each other. And it's you just see, it's oh, have fun in hell, you guys. It is so gross. Grody. It really is. Cause you're this dude, he's just oh, at least we're cool, dude. Anyway, high five up top, too slow. It's just so bizarre. I keep rewatching that. And Sam's they're now we can all unite together and be anyways, we'll see how long that lasts, dude. And Raquel's laughing. He's if they have a common enemy, it could last a while. And Sandoval's laughing. He's like, oh, yeah, exactly. Jinx, you owe me a soda. And Raquel's like, I guess these are consequences. And the producer comes in. Jeremiah's like, Raquel, I'm so sorry. You must evacuate the premises once more and maintain your 100-yard distance from the restraining order. And this is when they tased Raquel to put her back in the cage. And Raquel's like, all right, well, peace out. And she's like, I'm going to get out of your guys' hair. So Sheena can be here. So weird. Now we're on set, and Lala's like, hey, they're just talking before they start back cameras. Lala's, can I ask you something, Ryan? Because I obviously, I think there was an emotional affair happening before they hooked up. If he came to you and said, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a certain way towards Raquel. And by the way, Andy is there, and he's just on his phone. He's like not even paying attention. And Ariana's like, I would have said you have two options, Tom. Either we're done and over, or you never see her again. And Schwartz, by the way, is sitting alone on that side of the set, listening, just tapping his foot like a maniac. He looks very grim. You can tell the Xanax is really kicking in. And Lala goes, would you be as upset as you are now? And Ariana goes, eventually, no, maybe, but that's a line, you just don't go for friends. It's like Schwartz is right over there like, oh, shit, dude. I think I did that this season. Uh-oh. Sandoval's outside and watches Raquel's car leave. It's like, peace out, dude. All right. This is additional footage from Peacock. And James is like, would Sandoval hurry up? He's the only one not here. And Andy's like, well, Lisa's not here either. And James is like, okay, I'll shut the hell up. And Andy's like, yes. Poo-poo head, guys night, Imagine Fest. We cut to the backstage in the dressing room, and Lisa is with Tom. And this is like, I know you're devastated, dear boy. I know you are, but I haven't seen you really ever express your emotions in this whole day, which is not true either. He's faked a lot of emotions. I'm just saying maybe if you just had your moment and say, listen, I'm truly sorry I put my penis in Raquel's vagina and other orifices, but I still love all of you, all the things from your heart. We've seen you dejected. We've seen you angry. What about all these friendships? Because if there is a way forward, you have to open the door. And I'm sure they'll say, fuck you, we're not interested, but maybe, just maybe something might resonate. At least with Sheena, she's very weak. So at least try, dear boy. That's my advice to you. And Sandoval's bawling. He's like, I wish I could have a real conversation with Ariana. I don't deserve it, dude. I don't, but I want it so bad, dude. Oh. Lisa's like, it doesn't have to be now. We have season 11. And she winks at the camera. No, it doesn't have to be now. Could you sign this contract for season 11? No, it doesn't have to be now in front of all these cameras and millions of people. It could just be for me and one camera. Oh, no. You've got to go. I'm just saying, sometimes just show what's in your heart. It's a fucking black heart, Lisa. And Santa was like, I'm not a serial killer, dude. Which, by the way, I do want to point out that's exactly what a serial killer would say. A serial killer would say, I'm not a serial killer. And now I went into this thing and he's a cheater. I'm walking out of this reunion thinking he's potentially also a serial killer. Sheena reappears on the stage and takes her seat. And Ariana's like, hi. And Lala goes, did you watch? And she's like, oh, I watched it all. And Schwartz is like, you were watching this? Schwartz like, oh my God, the technology? What? And she's like, yeah. And Ariana's like, thoughts? And she's like, you're a fucking queen. I don't know how much you'll see of me in there, but I was like yelling. And Ariana's like you were watching the Super Bowl? And she's like, yeah, it's like when I watched The Bachelor or something. And she was like, first of all, I felt like I was on The Bachelor doing my interview on the van. And Ariana's like, that's hilarious. And the crew's like 5 seconds out, 3, 2. And Anna's like, we're back with the season 10 Vanderpump Rules reunion. I'm Andrew Cohen. We're still doing the restraining order do-si-do, so Raquel is gone and Sheena is back. Sheena, you just watched our conversation with Raquel. What were your thoughts? And Sheena's like, sociopath. Not one tear. I cried twice in the trailer watching this right now. We had additional footage from Peacock, and Lala goes, she cried about aging out of pageants, though if only Peter, by the way, this is so funny. We started this season with her dating Peter, and I'm like, if only Peter had tried harder. We flash back to Raquel's date with Peter, and Peter's like, and by the way, I was watching this and Peter was like 10 feet away last night, and Peter like kept making jokes of like, ha ha, like Peter really loves being a part of the pageantry of this show. And Raquel's like, Peter's like, you can't do any more pageants? And Raquel's like, no, because I'm too old now. And Raquel's like, it's hard. I'm just trying to figure out my life and try to be single and live my life. Remember, Tom Sandoval texted Peter after that moment, after that episode aired, and was like, dude, hey man, did you ever fuck Raquel, dude? It was like a weird out of the blue text. And he was like, why am I getting this from Tom Sandoval? And then we see that scene from Glamping where Raquel is crying about pageantry again, of like, that was a big dream of mine to be Miss California. And I made sure that every aspect of my life was consistent where I wasn't going to fuck up. Raquel starts crying. Ariana hugs her. Another time that they shared an intimate moment. And Ariana goes, she continues to be fake as fuck. And Andy goes, okay, I want to get some final thoughts from the group before we end this incredibly dramatic season and incredibly dramatic night. Sheena, I will start with you. So do you think you and Brock will have a second baby? And Lisa's like, oh, you have to have another one of those. Weird way to talk about a baby. She's like, not anytime soon. And Andy goes, James, any big festivals we should be aware of? And he's like, Imagine Festival is probably going to end up booking me again this summer. So, just keeping it going. And Andy goes, Schwartz, think you'll ever get married again? He's like, I'd give it like a 5% chance, like very unlikely. I'll fall in love like many times, bro, and I'm going to live a happy life, but like, I don't think I'll ever get married again. Also, the poor people that he falls in love with many times. He's like, I'm going to keep like fucking breaking hearts out there like multiple times, dude. And Andy's like, Katie, what about you? And Katie's like, I mean, maybe I'll get married, but I don't think I'll have another wedding. And he goes, you want kids? And Katie's, truthfully, I don't have that dying wish to be a mother. It's more about creating a family with somebody. So maybe I'll just be that cool aunt that, just off to another country with a hot young guy, a different one every month. That could be a great life. And Lisa's like, sounds like a lot of work. And Schwartz is like, that sounds great. What a weirdo, man. And Katie's like, it sounds awesome. And Andy goes, Sandoval, I was curious about how you move forward with this group, but I don't know that there's an answer to that. And Sandoval heavy sighs. He's like, I'm just going to keep rocking, dude. Just going out on tour and just rock as hard as I can, dude. No, he goes, I understand what I did was very, very fucked up, but understand that I'm a human. I make mistakes, dude. I made a terrible mistake. Rachel's a seductress, dude. She tempted me. I hurt somebody I've never loved ever more in my entire life. Schwartz, Tom Schwartz. No, he's saying this to Ariana. Ariana's face is just not buying it. Like, it's almost like she's studying somebody at the zoo, just an animal. And she's like, Ariana, I know that you hate me. I'm going to pour water on my eyes, and that's okay. I understand. But I want you to know that I will always love you, dude. And I will always be cheering on you from afar. Because I wish I had Schwartzy's mom. I wish I had always. Andy goes, Ariana, any final thoughts from you? And Ariana releases a big breath. She's like, I wish she had just said, I'm good. She goes, I'm really grateful for Sheena, Lala, James, and Katie, and you, to Andy, being there for me today and in the last 3 weeks and always. I'd like to thank Uber One. I'd like to thank Raising Cane's. I'd like to thank Bloomingdale. No, she goes, I will, and then she goes, I will not forgive him, and I will not be cheering him on from afar. And, Sandoval's like, of course. And he goes, Lisa, in 10 seasons of emotion and fighting, this is a new one. She's dabbing her eyes, that's leaking money. And she's like, where do you think this gang goes? Where do you think this gang? Hey, what a pickle, huh? What a pickle we got. Hey, where do you think this gang? Hey, Lisa, hey, Lisa, serious question. Where do you think this gang? Where do you think this gang goes? Hey, Lisa, where do you think this gang goes from here? What a fucked up group of people. Hey, Lisa, where do you think? Hey, we've never. Where do you think this gang goes from here? Where do you think? Hey, Lisa, this is quite a pickle. Where do you think this gang goes from here? Where do you think, Lee? Hey, Lee. Where do you think this can goes from here? Lisa says, I think right now, looking forward, it's too much to process, you know? I hope that some of us maybe can find some sort of forgiveness or compassion. They show Sandoval, just tears flooding down his face. And also Ariana, who has no intention of forgetting and forgiving. And he's like, well, I think what everyone needs is a little bit of time. And a little sip of Vanderpump Rosé. Peter, come on out with the drink. No, this didn't happen, actually. Remember when Peter used to come out with the last the shots for the season, and Peter would come out with a little hey, here's some pumptinis for everybody. And he goes, well, I think what everyone needs is a little bit of time. Thank you for all being so open tonight and such fucking freaks and horrible people to each other. Thank you for being free with your thoughts and emotions. 10 great seasons of Vanderpump Rules. This one blew our minds. Thank you guys so much. Let's all take a photo. Let's kind of all gather in. And we hear this piano of ding, 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 ding. This piano music of ding, ding, ding. How far? It's a weird, it's the piano music. And Lisa's like, I love you all. And James walks away. These are the best days of our lives. James is singing that. And she was like, that was the most somber ending we ever had to a reunion. This is when we needed a good as gold sad version of because we're good as gold. Because we're good as gold. James runs back to find Ali. Did I do good? Brock hugs Ariana. You crushed it, girl. And Ariana's like, thank you. I'm sorry you had to deal with that doll. I'm sorry. They all changing out of their clothes and getting into their cars. By the way, Lisa Vanderpump, remember when Stassi dated that creepy guy, was it Peter with the caveman face? And he told Lisa, he's like, I don't sure like to watch you leave, talking about her butt. But I will say, watching Lisa get into her car, she does have that, she's kind of badonkadonk, dude. we're bringing back Grody, and we're bringing back badonkadonk. They're all getting in their cars, and you're like, oh my God, that's the end. We made it. But all of a sudden, it pops up on screen. 6 days later, Raquel sat down for her final interview of the season. And this is the big surprise. And this is what I told you all along, you freaks. It wasn't in the one-on-one with Andy. It was in the talking head that was filmed post-reunion. And this is where she also filmed that day of I just wanted to see what it would be like to have sex with somebody I loved. She's in the same outfit. So this is that day, post-reunion. So these people were still working on this show. The producer, Jeremiah, goes, okie doke, you ready? And Raquel's like, yeah. And the producer goes, you okay? You seem like you're in a lot of pain. And she's like, yeah. And the producer's like, why? And Raquel goes, I think it's important for me to tell the truth. I think that I've been lying and being so deceitful the entire time that I don't want to lie anymore. And it's all out there anyway. And she smiles and laughs. The worst is out, and yet I'm still finding myself having to lie about specific timeline things. We flash back to the reunion 6 days earlier, and Sandoval's like, Lala, we weren't fucking first and foremost. And Lala goes, it doesn't matter if it was 1 time or 100 times. Sandoval's like, yes, it does. And Lala's like, you crossed the line. You crossed the goddamn line. And James is like, why does he keep saying 1 time? It's more than 1 time. And the producer's like, I mean, Raquel, you did maintain some untruths, some lies at the reunion. And Raquel nods her head. And she's like, yeah. And the producer's like, right. Why did you do that? And this is what I'm talking about, the trust that is built up with production. So they can get Raquel to finally tell that truth, to cleanse herself in some sort of way. You got to build that trust up. These production people, they do care about these people, even Raquel. They might have opinions on this. And I was talking about that with a producer last night of these people have been there. Most of these people have been working on the show since the beginning of the show. So they've grown up with these people as well. It's not just a job. I mean, this is their lives as well. And so the producer's like, well, why did you do that? And Raquel's like, well, Tom, he feels like it would be less hurtful to say that this wasn't going on for so long. And I like that once again, now we're starting to realize really what a manipulator Tom Sandoval is. He even manipulates Raquel, and that he feels it would be hurtful, which is bullshit. It would be hurtful to Tom. He's trying to position it where we're doing a better thing if we lie about this, when in reality, he's just trying to make himself look somewhat better, whatever thing that he can do. So he's positioning it as, no, it would be more hurtful if we say the actual truth. But it's just a purely selfish notion. And the producer says, at what point was it a regular thing? Like when we were filming? And Raquel's like, the second time was, it was actually during Mexico. And she smiles. And the producer goes, in Mexico. Raquel was like, I was like, we can't see each other. This isn't going to be a thing, which means like, we can't see each other, which means Tom was trying to make it a thing from that sentence. And she says, but then like, and by the way, I'm not doing the Raquel voice here because I think this is really important information. Raquel says, but then like that first night in Cancun, he was like drunk and trying to find his room. And I heard him talking in the hallway and there was somebody working there and he was asking directions to the elevator. And I was like, wait, just come inside. Like, sorry, sir, he's really drunk. And yeah, that was the second time that we were physically intimate with each other. Now, remember back to that night. That night was when he was really drunk and he slapped her on the ass, even though he said DJ James Kennedy shouldn't slap waitresses on the ass, which he shouldn't. But Tom also knows his way around slapping an ass. He was wasted and he was like, dude, Ariana, she's going to hook up with Schwartz. Remember, that was that night. So obviously Ariana went to bed, called it a night at some point, and Tom kept going. Now, she says, I heard him in the hallway asking for directions. I do believe Raquel, but let me posit this theory out there, is that I think Sandoval was hammered, but I also think Sandoval knew exactly what he was doing. I think Sandoval was probably in that direction of his room and making a scene so Raquel would come out and be like, just get in here, doofus. So I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He would already fucked her at this point. And by the way, more shit will come out. It's not like just this. This is what she's comfortable with telling us now. And that was the second time that we were physically intimate with each other. And producer goes, did you guys have sex multiple times in Mexico? And Raquel's like, yep. Because remember, Sheena went on record that Raquel had disappeared for 3 hours that day. I think Sandoval did as well. So they were fucking. Raquel's like, that night she made out with Schwartz. And producer's like, so it was like a regular. And by the way, I keep thinking back, and this is one of those darkest moments. At the wedding, there is this shot of Ariana sitting next to Raquel at the wedding, and they're both smiling at watching these two people get married. It is one of the darkest fucking pictures. It was so gross. She doesn't even fucking look nervous, Raquel. And the producer says, so it was like a regular ongoing thing between you two. It sounds like as of Mexico. And Raquel's like, yeah. Like, I don't remember like how often it would happen, but it definitely like picked up speed more after we wrapped filming, which was at the beginning of October, right? So October, November, December, January, February, March. We found out in March. And so, yeah, because how can you remember how many times it happens when it's happening so regular? And the producer says, did you spend time with his family? And Raquel smiles, goes, I've met his mom and she was aware of the situation. And producer goes, where was that? And Raquel was, that was in LA. And the producer goes, you didn't go to St. Louis with him? And Raquel chuckles. She's like, no. And the producer goes, so you've never been to St. Louis. And this is the time where they actually show the photo of Sandoval and Raquel posing in front of a statue that is known in St. Louis from December 28th. And Raquel's like, I can't recall. No. So brutal. I mean, she's still lying on top of the lies, even though we have proof. Like, that is wild. So fucked up. Like, he was fucking traveling with her to his hometown. Introduced her to his friends. She thought this was her dude. And the producer goes, I mean, you're telling me everything with your face and your actions. I like that the producer is saying this because I'm like, you ain't telling me shit. I can't read Raquel at all. So this producer, Jeremiah, is like the Raquel whisperer. Producer goes, I'm reading you. And Raquel's like, I know. I have a really bad poker face. I'm like, you have an amazing poker face. What are you talking about? The producer goes, so you might as well just say it. And Raquel's like, it freaking happened. Yeah. I definitely felt really guilty. Like, a huge part of me wanted to tell her. Like, it ate me alive not to tell her. I mean, I even suggested maybe like, what would Ariana think about like having me as an addition? And he was like, no, 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 she would not be into that. And she's laughing as she says this. But this is the part that I had heard that I kind of glossed over when I heard it because I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, she literally suggested being in a throuple. Like, move over, Cody. We've got a new Sister Wives in town, led by Tom Sandoval. He does strike me as a kind of a Cody type from Sister Wives. Just a real narcissistic prick. And I like that Sandoval was like, dude, she's not cool enough to be into that, man. I was like, no, dude, don't tell. Like, it's just so dark. Raquel's like, because like I love Ariana as a person, and then also I'm in love with Tom Sandoval. So yeah, it didn't seem like that far-fetched of an idea, but it was not something in question. And then she goes, God, he's gonna kill me. We need OJ's opinion on this. OJ's like, I watched Vanderpump Rules last night, and it was dark. You know, man, that Tom Sandoval is a dirty guy. Like, is OJ like, come on? This is like, he's gonna kill me. Like, it sounds like you really did fucking lay down, like, you cannot say this. Do not say this. It does really seem like he coaches these people. It's such a bummer. And then she goes, I just hate lying so much. I hate it. And the producer goes, what happened the night you guys went to the jacuzzi? And guys, one last time for the season, let's all do it with feeling. Ken stumbles into the room. I can't believe that Tom Sandoval had Raquel over when Ariana's away. I know. And the jacuzzi as well. I know. Katie's like, what? The producer goes, did you guys hook up that night? And Raquel goes, no. And the producer goes, are you lying? No. But she's smiling. She's like, no. And the producer goes, Raquel, you look different. Huh. And then she goes, he's asked me not to disclose all this information, especially now with being like so isolated. That's so, like, that's another thing. Like, if I were an empathetic person, it would, is that this, I mean, it's not, she has her family and her sister and other people that but this guy kind of has isolated her of like, I am your lifeline. I am the person that is still here with you. And she goes, I feel like Tom is like, like my one person that I do have. And she's laughing again, very childlike. And she's like, if I just went and betrayed him, then I'd really have nobody. I mean, it's, my God. And she smiles. And the producer says, well, you already came clean about the timeline, right? So like, you ripped the Band-Aid off. Like, what's one more detail? What a great production like thing, right? Like just getting that information. And Raquel starts to cry. Like, and then, it's hard. You feel for her in this moment. She's like, it's the one story that we've agreed on getting straight. And I know that the reason why Tom wanted to lie about it is because it's a really bad look to hook up with someone's boyfriend in their own house when they've gone out of town, especially for like a funeral of all things. So like, I don't know, but this has fucking killed my soul. Like, I'm so sick of lying. I hate it. I hate being deceitful. It's horrible. And she just deeply sobs. Which is shocking. We finally see actual human emotion. And we once again are reminded, or really just opening the curtain on what a deceitful dude this guy is. And this guy doesn't have the processing issues. I mean, he doesn't have the processing issues that Raquel does. So this guy is deep in a lie. And he's angry and he's troubled and he's just grody. And it's just another woman he played. And I'm not saying that Raquel didn't participate, because she did. So don't get me wrong on that. She did. And then we have the promo for Vanderpump Rules secrets revealed next week. Boom, boom. And the wording goes on screen. With a scandal this huge. And we see Lisa go, because of Tom and Raquel's affair, there was so much going on. Boom, boom. There's more you haven't seen. And Sandoval going, let's get it all out there, dude. More betrayal. And Lisa's like, if those walls could talk, more deception. And then Ariana says, we really have like this beautiful friendship family. Boom, more lies. And Peter's like, we're friends, Raquel. You're not going to break my heart. More fallout, more deceit, more tears, more drama, more secrets. And then Lisa goes, we tell the true story. Boom, boom, next Wednesday. You guys, we did it. We did it. We did it. Look at me. I'm a mess. If you watch YouTube, I am just spent. Holy shit, you guys. We got to the end of the season. Of course, we have secrets revealed, but let's, it's going to be easier, I swear. Thank you. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But what a journey this has been. What a journey this has been. We're going to keep providing you great content. I promise that. We're going to find things that make you laugh, things that make you think, people that you're going to knock you off your coal mining asses. I got guests that I talked to today that are going to blow you away. I got guests coming next week that are going to blow you away. I got guests in the next episodes tonight that are going to blow you away. Part 2 is coming at you with reactions to Scandival, with podcast information from Jax and Brittany and Schwartz and Sheena and Lala and all of that stuff. And then part 3, yeah, there's a part 3, baby. We've got the author of the Glamour article highlighting Ariana Madix and what she said. It's a great hour-long interview. I'm leaving it all out on the field. Listen to this when you can, when you want to, when it helps. And remember, you're at Friday, baby. You made it through the week. What do I always say? Eat something good, drink something great, hang out with your friends, tell somebody you love them, kiss somebody, but only with their permission. Walk your dog. Pet your cat, spend some time by yourself, go take a walk in the woods, do some exercise, but only if you want it. Do whatever it takes to realize that there is a great world out there and you got a great life out there. I'm talking to you out there. And if you're on my Patreon, you'll see me this weekend, patreon.com/SoBadIt'sGood. I did a Summer House finale recap over there this week, along with another episode. And then on Monday, we'll talk to you bright and early. I got some great guests next week. If you like Tracy Morrissey, she's going to be here. If you like, well, I'm going to save those surprises for you next time. I hope this was okay, you guys. I hope this was okay. I hope we went out with a bang. And I'm not going anywhere, so I don't know why this feels like goodbye, but goodbye. I can't wait to end you, Scandival. Peace. I'm an idiot.